Hello, once again, my followers, my loyal subjects, and welcome to the only Samurai Shodown podcast that we know of. No Recoil. I am joined once again by my lovely friend, my lovely friends Maki.
Hello, hello everyone. Good talk to you again. After when was the last one? Last Evo, I
January,
think.
January. It
Oh,
was
January.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was no February. It was Frosty Frostings,
Oh, Frosties. Okay. Yep.
and my fellow compatriot Mr. Ghost, the duo Ghost. I'm not saying that Ghost, the Trinity.
What's up, common folk? How is
Oh
everybody?
God, he dropped the common folk. Fuck.
I'm just joking, people. I'm just joking. It's good to be here. Hello, Scrubby.
Hello.
It's good to finally be on your show.
So assuming you haven't been under a rock, you've probably heard about a certain event known as Combo Breaker 2024, one of the biggest fighting game events in North America, one of the most prominent events in the USA, and the biggest official Samurai Showdown tournament of the year in North America. So, yeah, it was a pretty big deal. It was a very be there or be square type of endeavor. And we were all there. We were very eager to talk about our experience, how much fun we had, and the future of the game, such and such. And without further ado, let's get going. So, yes, sirs, there was a tournament.
I want to talk about loser bracket. I want to talk about
Already.
how wild. Yeah, I'm off the rip. I'm one of those guys. I want to talk about how wild loser bracket was. It, like top 16 to top 8 was expected in winners of whatever, right?
Yeah.
But loser bracket was bananas, right? It was straight bananas. I mean, look at it. We got Dusty Feets versus Shin the Wolf. We got Blue Thunder. We got Master Belmont. Master Belmont really wasn't surprising. That dude grinds to the max, right? We got Ragnall, which I'm assuming the guy doesn't play the game at all, but he did really well. And then we got Simp, Shinchi, and Pure Lowell. And I think Pure Lowell has come a long way. Actually, very happy on his placing.
I'm
He gets
actually
close
glad
to.
you're talking about this because I was not in the venue when the losers part was going on, and I did not get time to actually watch the whole VOD, so it's good that you're filling us in.
Yeah, yeah. Pure Lowell lost to Shinchi, but he played really well. And he gets closer and closer to top 8 every single time he plays in Combo Breaker. If you pull up last year Combo Breaker, he did okay last year, and then now he's much closer now. He made top 16, which was amazing. It's nice to see.
Yeah.
Um, Master Belmont, I don't know if he was here last year. I don't think so, but that dude deserves where he's located at right now because that dude grinds PS4 like his name depends on it. Um, and Jin the Wolf, shout out to Jin the Wolf. He's kind of a student of mine, but he lost to like Dusty Feets, who's an Ukiyo player who doesn't play the game at all, and he still did well. He's another person who did well last year. Like last year, did he didn't place well, and then this year he placed even better. So everybody who's watching this, obviously, keep the grind up. I say this all the time. Keep grinding, no matter what game it is. It doesn't have to be Sam Show, but it shows, right? It shows how well you can do at a tournament and get far, you know. So I mean, Taki Tonfa. I mean, look at Tonfa. Tonfa played phenomenal, even beating the champion at least one time.
Uh,
Right? He beat the 2-1. Come on, champion. You got to give him some credit.
yeah, it was pretty interesting because we played in casuals, and it was pretty cut and dry. It was kind of like how it always goes, and then like we got on stage. I was thrown off a bit because like part of it was like I wasn't really playing in Vogue yet. Like caffeine kind of wasn't kicking in, and like the stage was throwing me off a bit. But like he also was like playing very well. Like he made all the adjustments.
Yeah,
I'm actually really grateful I played him because it was like reinforced what I needed to do against Maki.
and it's crazy, right? Because you play Maki 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days,
Well, I don't know about that.
right? And
We play a fair bit. I don't know.
I don't know, man. You guys are like maximum grind time, right? Before I even go to bed, and I'm about to go to bed, I look in Discord and you guys are grinding, kind of nutty. You know, Maki plays at like 2 a.m.
Oh
you
yeah.
know, and then here you come out of nowhere, like I'll play, you know, and so it's you, Cypher, and Maki just grinding for like 4 hours straight. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
Jesus. So you know, he did well, right? Because clearly you play Maki, which is like the best Jubei currently, you know. So
Yeah.
it was nice to actually just see him win a game against you, right?
Yeah. Apparently, I
No.
was told like apparently that meant a lot to him.
It does,
So,
yeah, bro. That means a lot to all of us. Beating you is like prime time, right? If we can take games off you, beat you, you're a champion, obviously, right? So if we can take games off you and beat you some way somehow, even if it's one game, it means a lot, obviously, right? You know, if Maki beats you, it's expected. Cypher beats you, is expected. You know, you grind with those guys, right? So it's what it is. Like a lot of us who don't grind as much as you guys and still try to put in work to beat you guys, you know, you don't think we know like you guys are like much stronger than we are, of course, but I don't think the skill gap is so far, you know, that
no, to be
we can't
honest,
catch
no,
up,
it
right?
isn't. I don't think anyone should look at the gap as something that can't
Yeah, like that can't be
be
reached, right?
right.
I was telling Real Cycle this, right? I was like, hey man, like they're not doing anything that like we can't do, right? And you grind as much as Master Belmont, and you know, yeah, everybody grinds the way they want to grind, and you just have to have that champion mindset like Maki and Scrub and Cypher does. So, and that's actually the next level. That's what I think the next level is, right? That the mindset. You can play 100+ matches, but if we don't have the mindset that you guys do, then we're not winning. Yeah, eventually it'll start to show during the gameplay.
Yeah, that's actually what I tell people is that like at a low level, the biggest thing affecting people is not skill. The biggest thing affecting people
It's
is
mentality.
attitude. Yeah,
Yeah,
because like
yeah.
ultimately, you're a human being. You have a 16 frame reaction time like anybody else in the world. Like so, and you're
You
not
can all
like
it's funny. You can also cut that down though with a lot of so as like an ex-boxer, right? When I used to like box, you can you know, you can do the average punch. But obviously, if you train your punch and your reaction time, you'll be able to react to someone's punches much faster than normal, right? So if you train a lot, you know, you'll be able to react much faster than, or you'll be able to understand what's happening faster to react than the average guy who's like, you know, the gate, basically. Like, obviously, the community says Inazuma is the gate, right? So if you can be Inazuma, then you can roll up, you can go up in chain, I guess, right? He's like the gatekeeper of like top guys, you know, that are playing Sam Show. Anybody underneath him?
he's got the number 2 headband. If you kill him, you can challenge the Afro.
Yeah. This has been going on for years actually. So like, if you're new to Sam Show, or anybody watching this, if you're new to Sam Show and you start rolling up in the ranks, if you can't beat Inazuma, forget about it. You're not beating like the big heads, basically. You know, the Guzmans and the Scrubs and the Makis and the Ghosts and the Royal Cycles. You're not beating those guys if you can't beat Inazuma because I don't know. That's just like the rule, I guess. But if you grind a lot and you play enough, and then you get there, you should be fine, I guess. What I'm trying to say, to put it in perspective.
It's interesting that we brought up reactions because like, something it was actually good about this tournament. Like, it wasn't a bad thing, but it actually bothered me a bit. Was that and all my like theorizing and analyzing the game since I've leading up to Evo Japan, and this year's Frosty Fostings, I've been like way more analytical and theoretical about like the way the game is played. One of my big revelations was I started to realize the impact of reaction time on the game, and essentially the fact that reactions empower all of the guessing that the game revolves around. So basically, like, the core unit of movement basically being the run stop. That's like the most basic unit of movement because it's intentionally designed to not be reaction punishable or run stop. It's 14 frames, so you can't like after you've already reacted, they're already safe, which introduces a whole bunch of my games like.
Yeah, you have to actually. So this I kind of got this from watching you and watching Maki. You people who try to interrupt the run stop, you should be doing it. You should be anticipating a run stop somewhere. I've been practicing a lot with it for the past couple of months, and it has helped me a lot with Ukyo. It's. I also got a hint from you when you were telling me like Ukyo has that power, like that stopping power, which I know already, obviously, but I use like 5B more when people try to get in. And blowing people up on running up is like awesome. It's a little hard sometimes, right? Because obviously reaction wise falls into place because I have to anticipate you running forward and then pull out 5B so you run into it.
Yeah.
I can't pull out 5B while you're running forward and doing run stop.
Yeah, the whole game is like you're so empowered if you don't have to press, right? When you react to the run distance and then press, and you don't need to. I'm starting to look at like my bad habits, and like I was just like, why am I pressing 5B when they're like outside of range and just dying? They're not even walking back. Why am I doing that? And I started to understand that I keep doing anticipatory buttons, and that's not. I was looking at the difference between like how Maki posts and like that's not actually necessary, and it like really dawned on me how like especially playing certain people in Japan, like on local setups like Masato, right? That was the big one, by far the biggest ones, and Iwayo, and the way those guys use their reactions, right? So deliberately, it's like ultimately the whole game. I know how the game is supposed to be played on meta. Like, I'm gonna be entirely honest, as sad as this is to say, I don't mean this to be mean, but most people playing the game are not playing on meta, including people in top 8. That's fine, because it's a stepping stone, we have to get there one day. But the true way the game is played, a lot of people aren't actually there, or are only on the cusp of being there. And now that I know, the reason why I'm frustrated is that because of how good the in-zone monitors and the Xbox setups were, and how good it felt, and like how much more deliberate, I was landing whiff punishes I never landed in my life, and like I was like reaction linking cross under 5B for full combo. That's like that's important. That's like not something that technically should be on the table. Technically, you should be able to react and get that, and if you don't, it changes the game considerably because the risk reward associated with jumping is now considerably different. But like, now that I know that, I don't know how I'm supposed to train my reactions to be used to that, because I can't. I'm not going to be in an environment unless I keep going to every major, right? I'm not going to be in an environment where I'm playing on optimal setups with strong players, right? Like you're not gonna have on a regular basis like roll up to the local and like play like real ass reactionary Sam show. So it's like it's kind of making me think about what I'm gonna do in the future because I'm worried I'll like never be able to get to that point. And it's like a little concerning, but also it's like
Well, I think reactionary ass Sam show is special. I think only a select few of players can do that. It's no different from Marvel, right? Only a select few of players. We're talking Just Wong, the Chris G's, the special kind of players can play reactionary ass or adjust to reactionary ass Sam show. Right? You're not gonna get that with everybody, and you're gonna come to a point, Scrub, where you're playing the game at such a different pace that it would be equivalent to somebody playing tennis and then going against Serena Williams. Right? They're gonna get destroyed. They're not even gonna know like what the fuck's happening. Oh, I mean, because look at it. We went to Japan and we saw what's his name playing Kazuki, right? His skill level was gaps from everybody else.
yeah.
Complete gaps.
And yeah,
From
it's actually
everybody I
it
played
was-
from last year to playing him, complete like playing against him. I felt like I couldn't touch him, right? Like,
yeah.
I think maybe if I played Hibiki, I would have had a better chance beating him. But as far as like Ukyo versus Kaz, it was like, what the fuck? He just knew what to do.
And I was telling you, right? I was telling you, you're not gonna distance from you're running from. It's never going to ever work. He's going to jump, neutral jump every single time. You have to coax run. And I was trying to, and I know, and like, you understand like you have to. The meta is defined by the best player, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
you can't,
obviously,
it's not meta just because other people don't do it, right? Like you have to assume that Masato and Cypher, you have to assume those are the guys to beat. And you have to assume that that's how the game is played, how you're going to have to play, right? Which is why it's a little frustrating to figure out how, because that's not reactions are like, I don't know how you can study a reaction.
You can't. You that's what I said, right? You don't. You have to kind of inherit the reaction, right? Through a lot of play and understanding the game, right? It's. Have you ever watched other games at the highest level, the Jay Wongs and the Daigos, right? The Tokidos and all of them. They're doing things that when you compare them to other players are just not doing it. There's just so much going on that you're like, how did he just do that? Right? What is he doing? He's like beating the set 10-2, and this guy is like massively strong. You know, there's always that level that they're playing that some people just will never get to. Through no matter what the means is, through training, through playing, they could play 600 games. They may never get to that status. So that's why it's like rough already, right? Like that's what I'm saying. If you grind to get it, and then you start playing like him or Cypher, it's gonna be a whole new meta, right? Now everybody has to adapt to your meta, and then if we can't, we're gonna flat out just lose, right? We're gonna get destroyed. That's how big of a gap it is.
Yeah.
Do I think we can do it? Like the guys who play the game often and the guys who like make the top 8? Yeah, of course, right? But it can be one of those things where like you just have a secret and you're just not telling anyone. Right? Like you can get to that level and then like everybody's like, well, how are you doing that? And you're just like, if you wanted to be an asshole, you could be like, I don't know. I just got there through training. It's like Ultra Instinct, you know, Maki? It's like Ultra Instinct basically. Like he's playing so much against the Kazuki player and against Cypher. He's playing so much against them that he starts to understand. And then now we have to play him for us to understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like they bring him up, he brings us up type stuff. Like, we shouldn't be playing anyone else basically other than Scrub. Because everybody below a certain threshold is going to just die. Kind of stuff.
Yeah.
it's kind of nutty how fighting games, like when you get to that level, is and how the level of Samsho has changed over the years too.
Oh yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
uncomfortable. It's yeah, like just like it's really night and day. Like just I was talking, it was like it's kind of insane what we've accomplished. Really. Like this little Xbox server that was made initially just for like a casual lobbies has created some of the best players on the planet. And that's not a matter of opinion because I beat almost everybody in Japan. So, and I played the majority of their best players. And I'm not even the best. I'm not even the best in North America. People don't even know that. It's crazy. And like,
Ghost was talking about that there's always somebody that
Of
does
course.
not go out, doesn't
Yeah, remember I
go
said that?
out, is the secret
There's
final
always
boss.
there's always when even at next level, even at in Florida, I was playing with those guys, and if you play Guilty Gear and you play with Slayer, the old Guilty Gear, one of Slayer's quotes used to be, "You think I'm strong? You haven't even seen my friends." He always says that and he disappears. I love that quote because
It's
it's
like-
always true.
it's like how Arslan Ash wasn't actually the best Tekken player in Pakistan.
Yeah, you have to think. You always have to think about it. That player is the best because of somebody, right? That
Mhm.
player just didn't wake up one day and say, "I'm gonna go grind and I'm gonna be great." Right? Actually, there's a documentary on Sonic Fox. It's like making of Sonic Fox, something like that, right? Where the guy who I forget his name, he built up Sonic. They used like Sonic Fox used to be trash in the beginning, and then he trained with him, and Sonic Fox became like a god. He taught Sonic Fox the ropes. He taught Sonic Fox everything he knows, right? And he just kind of got it, right? And he just became a god, right? It's there's always somebody that made that person strong, right? Obviously, Scrub, you can say it's Cypher, right? Like, man, grinding with Cypher for all those hours and all those nights, I became a strong player, right? And then many people can say grinding with Scrub for many hours, I became a strong player, and then so forth and so on and so forth and so on, right? That's just how it is, right? So I think when people look at, there should always be like a secret boss, always,
Yep.
always. Yes, I believe you should always strive to beat that person above you, but I also think that you should keep that person a secret too. That's just me as a person. That's just my opinion, right? Like even when I went to Japan, right, and I played everybody and I beat everybody last year, right? Nobody was even close to like the Kazuki player that practically destroyed me.
We didn't even know who he was. We didn't know who he was until Omega told us the same day.
I heard about him from Omega originally, but
Oh.
he wasn't available. When I went, he wasn't available. So I just played. I played like Kill Max and all of them. And I only lost to Kill Max because who the fuck plays Warden in the community? Right? Nobody. Right? And Dr. won't play
well,
anybody.
I mean, first of all, you have to play Cypher, and then you have to hope he picks Warren. Right?
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, like, you can compare everybody to Cypher, right? Because you've had that power against him. I've played Cypher here and there. Cypher plays, it's too late. I'm sleeping already. So it's not.
Yeah.
And to catch Cypher on, like, you guys are ready and available to play Cypher 24/7. I'm not. I don't have the time like you guys do. So, like, that's why, like, I try to, like, catch Cypher. I DM him, like, hey, man, when are you available? And he's usually only available like 2 a.m. and I can't do it. Can't do it during the week.
Or noon.
Yeah,
or
those
noon,
two
right?
times.
And I'm at work, right? So
Yep.
so like I would love to play Cypher in a plus 100 match, but unfortunately he's not available. I'm not going to stay up 2 a.m. to play Cypher, as rewarding as it may be in my future. Oh,
Yeah, you
that's
kind of
just what I
don't
have to
choose
deal
when
with.
to play Sam Show, to be honest. Sam Show
Yeah.
chooses for you.
Yeah, I guess, right? So, obviously I have to grind Maki. I have to grind Scrub Cybot, right? So until I can play Cypher comfortably on a weekend, which he's rarely available. That's what I have to deal with. That's what I have to. And honestly, I've played Cypher already, and yeah, I get destroyed, but it's weird. I don't feel uncomfortable. Weird. I don't know if he's fucking with me or whatever, but you can always tell he's always adapting, like playing an
Oh, yeah.
AI.
Yeah, some
Yeah,
people takes
more or
10
less.
games to make an adjustment. Cypher, 1 round, he's got like the solution on deck. It's like,
He has really good situational awareness. Yeah, his situational awareness is phenomenal.
yeah,
I think that's the big thing in a lot of highest level players. They have ridiculous situational awareness. Like,
like
it's as if they're calculating what's happening.
like the specificity of like his turn taking and how deliberate it is, and like right down to the interaction. Right, he doesn't leave anything on the. He uses all of his frame space. He doesn't leave anything on the table. Right, and you have to earn everything. Like he won't ever
Yeah, he won't
let you
ever
cheese
give
a
up.
run throw or like,
It's like playing a Grandmaster chess player, basically.
yeah,
It's basically what it is, right? Which is wonderful. It's because players like Cypher and like the highest level players, they make you use your brain, right? That's why like I can't play you guys when I come from work. I don't have that mental capacity after work to play you guys and try to use my brain power. It's impossible. It's just too much. So like I have to like not have work that day or like work from home to be like, all right, Scrub, let's play and try to like do my best.
Mm.
It's
Yeah,
just not a thing.
yeah.
I'm just too tired.
Yeah, because it's demanding. I mean,
It is.
at that level, it is.
It's funny. I'm teaching Wolf that, right? I'm teaching Wolf like, 'cause he's like, how do you play so many matches and stuff? So,
Mm.
well, I don't play tired. No go. I stopped doing that years ago. I don't have that mental capacity anymore. I'm much older now. I'm not in my 20s anymore.
yeah. I used to
And
have
I
a
told him,
sorry. I used to have a mindset that I needed to play Cypher every single time, but like I kind of rationalized now that if it's too late, I'm not. I'd rather like just not do it, just cause like it's. I actually don't think you should ever play tired. I think it's mostly completely pointless. Like,
yeah, it's bullshit.
yeah, there's
It's
no.
bullshit.
You don't. If you're like, if you're tired, you're not even using. It's like playing. It's like solving a jigsaw puzzle without the pieces.
I remember we had this conversation like a while ago. I was like, I don't play as much as you do, and you were like, you do play as much as I do, but you play scrubs. I was like, yeah, because I'm tired all day long. I get up at 6 a.m. I get home from work, and my first instinct is not to play fucking Maki or Scrubs iBot.
No, no.
My first instinct is to play Scrubs so I can relax and I can go to bed after. Right? Like that's just what it is, right? I'd rather play a Scrub when I get home than play Scrubs iBot and get destroyed, right? And miss doing a good 2B into WFT or miss something, right? Because I'm too tired or I can't react to it because I'm too tired. So I would rather not go through that and then kick myself in the ass than to play a Scrub and be like, this is relaxing. I'm okay. It sounds awful the way I'm saying it, but that's just what it is.
I mean,
You know,
yeah. Ultimately, you can play the game how you want.
if I'm playing to get better, then obviously I'm going to play higher level players, right?
Yeah.
I'm playing the game to just relax. I'm obviously going to ping, and then like when you ask to play games, I'm going to avoid you because I'm just not going to play you. It's just not it. There's no way I'm doing 8 hours of work with an hour and a half of travel from 6 a.m. and then coming to play you. And it's just not a thing. Halfway through our match last night, I was like, I don't want to play this anymore.
Yeah, I kind of clued in.
I was just way too tired, right? I
Yeah.
started doing WFT randomly. I was like, I don't want to do this no more, but I also don't want to quit.
I mean, yeah, it's like I feel that was kind of like when we played that set on the PS4. I was so tired. I was just like, I'm like 200% done. Like I
Right.
wanted to play casuals one more time, but it's like I'm 30 and I'm tired now.
Right, exactly. I'm 35, right? So I'm not. You're not. There's no way. It's just not a thing. And I try to tell like Wolf that all the time, right? Like, if you're tired or you're not mentally in the headspace to do so, please do not play video game. Do not play Sam Show.
Oh, another on the tired topic. So, you know how early I woke up on the day of the tournament, right? I
Yeah.
was up at 4 because I was so anxious. I
You
was
need,
so
you need
anxious I
help.
couldn't
That's
sleep.
why you need help. I watched you grind in the room training mode. Then I watched you, bro. You have the worst anxiety. I'm glad I don't have that type of anxiety. Like, I'm
Uh,
glad I don't have anxiety like you do, because then you would flare up my anxiety. I'd rather have ADHD than fucking anxiety, because that shit's
oh,
wildly
okay.
stupid. Yeah, I was
Well,
like,
I guess I'll
bro,
see my doctor.
just get some rest, bro. Just lie down, bro. Like, you was on 10. I was like, yo, this guy
Yeah,
is,
I
this
woke
guy's like a
up.
pack of wolves,
I
bro.
woke up at 4 a.m. I was like, I'm so fucking pumped for this goddamn tournament. Let's go. I can't wait to play. And
Starts to,
then,
yo, Maki, you should have saw it. He wakes up, walks
Uh-huh.
around, starts to lab, stops labbing, goes back to bed, gets back up, starts to lab. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, I'm labbing. I was like, what the fuck? Time is it? 6 a.m. Bro, get help.
no,
Go to sleep.
I went down to
Yeah, then you went down to lab
the
more.
lobby because I didn't want to wake you up, and because they had in-zone monitors in the foyer. So I just put up my Xbox and I labbed the last few things I wanted. And then I was like, I went
Top,
back and I
top
got
8 was even
worried.
worse. My man was labbing character specific stuff for the people he was like, give him a problem. And I was like, and then in my head, while I was watching you do it, I was like, I wonder if like Justin Wong and like Chris G do this shit. Like, I wonder if
In the
like
old days, absolutely. Chris G
I'm
was a
like,
huge lab monster.
I mean that I know for a fact, yeah, and Daigo was too. And I was like, I wonder if this is what it's like to be like the best in the world. Like, this is what you have to do to be the best in the world. I was like, if this is it, this is taxing.
I mean, I'm gonna be real. Yes, if you're serious, because if you're serious about winning a major, yes, that's what it takes.
Well, I mean, I,
Like,
I agree with you, because if you look at like top boxers, top tennis players, and like top other sports players, they're grinding, and then like they're grinding from like 5 a.m. They're doing like they're working out. Their muscles are like way better than the average human being, and they have a trainer. Like, some of my favorite boxers, like watching them train on like YouTube and stuff like that is like kind of nutty stuff that they do. Think that they're up at 4 a.m. doing runs, then they're boxing, then they're sparring, then they're boxing more. 12 o'clock they're eating something, and then they're going back to boxing more. It's never enough. And then like to watch you do the exact same thing, I'm like, this guy deserves everything he has. There's just no way that you're gonna grind that much, play the game that much, play against the best, and then not do nothing. Right? It's not a thing.
yeah, it's irrational to
And
think that someone's gonna like magically shit the bed one day. Right? That's
but
not how
this is
it's
like what I
gonna.
was trying to say earlier, though. Right? Not everybody can do that. So not everyone's dream of getting to win a major is gonna be in reach, because they can't do that. Some people are family man. Some people have children. Some people just don't have the time. Like, their family, like their life doesn't involve that type of time. A lot of people who win majors, with the exception of Brian F, just don't have that time.
I mean, yeah, not gonna lie either. At a certain level, there's definitely a certain amount of life sacrifice, right? I'm pretty sure it's a pretty safe assumption a lot of these people that are in this position are like, you know, uh, under 30, bachelors, right? Not married, or even in some cases like career, like they don't. Like a lot of these Street Fighter players, obviously Sam Show is not in the realm of this, but like a lot, even like B-list players, there's people who are full-time sponsored. They don't have jobs. They play like 8 hours a day.
Yeah, I
Right?
mean, look at Uma Show, right? Uma Show, look at that. She
Yeah, but
already said,
I know, but Umi Show is like like top 5 in the world, debatably, right?
yeah, but before she became top 5 world class, she said it herself. Like, she was grinding the game every day. every single day.
Yeah.
Even a good even Lawso, who I'm very close with, right? Just talk to Lawso a lot, say it a lot. He'd work, he'd come home, he'd play Guilty Gear. He said there was never a time short. They said Lost Soul played over 700 games in one day.
Oh, wow.
That's
Yeah, yeah,
wow.
yeah.
What
In
the
Rev.
fuck? How's that even
Yeah, yeah,
possible?
yeah. He said he'd wake up at 6 a.m. and he'd just grind all day.
How long is the
Just
game
keep.
taking Rev?
I don't know. I mean, he was speedrunning people, so I couldn't tell you. And Elfelt was kind of busted, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But they were talking about how like he'd wake up because he didn't really have a job. He'd wake up, he just speedrun the game all day. He just play every day, all day. And they were looking at his stuff, his stats and stuff. His matches were like insane.
I'm not gonna lie. The thing I've started to realize, and just like the way my relationship with the game has changed, and my attitude towards the game, because there was definitely a change in how I approached the game. Like even when I was like still winning stuff,
Hmm.
like I wasn't. I was when I won Lunar Bout and when I won Evo, I was actually just playing the game like just to play. Like I was actually, and even KIT, I was doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Like I was still raiding at FF14. Like I spent a whole bunch of time doing that, and I was still doing WoW Classic, all at the same time, and I was helping organize Evo 2022. I was doing like a whole bunch of other stuff, and I was playing like Elden Ring, and goofing around, and like, so I like other games, right? I'm like normal person like anybody else. Like I don't only fucking play Samsho, but like even when I was winning, I was still like kind of goofing around, just playing it to play, and just hanging out in Thrusty's lobbies. And then I didn't start like really going like trying to play at like competitive level until the game got announced for Frosty Fostings and Combo Breaker, and that was like I started to realize, even though I was doing well, my like relationship with the game wasn't in a good place. And I think the thing I've kind of realized is that if you let it, the game will take part of your soul.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Because actually that goes to my next point. Also, got a job. He'd wake up, he'd go to work, come home, and the rest of the day is him playing the game. Then he'd go to sleep, wake up, he'd play the game before he leaves for work. You can talk to him about this too. He'd play the game before he leaves for work. He'd leave for work. He's thinking about the game. Come home. He's thinking about the game. He plays the game. It's just a cycle, right? Because he was thinking about like most optimal stuff. Then he'd come to locals, beat everybody at locals, and they said that it was so bad that they actually had to leave him.
I heard about this.
Yeah, yeah. They actually left him. I was they told when I was at next level. They told me like he was so good at the game. They basically left him at the venue at next level to go to a tournament.
Oh, wow.
'Cause they knew he was going to win. That's how
Mhm.
good he was. They knew if he went, he was going to win.
That's incredible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's
The
like
stranding of Lost Soul.
he like eat, sleep, and breathe Guilty Gear Rev. He went to Japan, did the exact same thing you did. He beat everybody there. No one could touch him, right? And like I think Rev is the only game that I've played someone and I was like, I can't beat this person. It's impossible. I'm never going to win.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
skill
yeah.
gap between me and Lost Soul was so huge when we played. He 40 and owed me. And like
Oh,
yeah, we played at like a DTN. We just sat and played for casuals. And he 40 and owed me. And there was no giving time I thought I have a chance. Not a single time. Because the skill gap was so big. He just like when somebody knows what to do in the matchup, like it's so clear cut and dry. And there's like no change in that
Yeah.
matchup.
I mean, there's nothing to be said about a streak like that other than it's not even that bad of a thing. You're gonna get streaked by people, but a streak like that, the only explanation is gap. That's it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. The skill gap between me and him was insane. And the only other time I've seen this was like in Blaze Blue lobbies with like Banana Ken. He had like, I don't know, I think over 100 wins in the Blaze Blue lobby, and people were like lined up to like play him. You know, like nobody could beat Banana Ken. And everybody I'm naming right now eats, sleeps, and breathes their respective games. Like basically the game has their soul.
Yeah.
Huh.
It could really eat away at you. I was like, I kind of let myself go, so to speak. I don't want to get into like the gory details, but like, you can like succeed and still fail yourself. Like I've definitely been failing myself in a few ways, and I actually think just working on things I left by the wayside, I can do that, and then I can still like be healthier about it. It's like cramming for a test, right? If you are cramming, you're already fucked up. You should have been like studying a little bit every single day, a little bit. It's like jogging, right? I think that's the best thing, and then I think I'll be like kind of just happier with myself if I do that. And it's like I knew that, but like it's like a vice. It's like a form of, I forget the word to describe this.
But honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing though. I think the people who let the game take their soul and they benefit from it, like they're making money from it. I don't think it's a bad thing, honestly, especially if you don't have a job, right? You might as well make money from it. It would be worse if you're grinding the game and you're making $0 and 0 cents, right? It's like, what are you doing with your life, really? But then if you grind the game and you're making bank, right? You're coming home with, I mean, think about it right now, Scrub, right? You can go to any tournament right now. Your chances of winning is over 80%. Think about it, and that just depends on who's the players,
Yeah.
right? Who's there?
Probably more than 80%. To be
Yeah,
clear.
it's probably more than
97.
random. Yeah, whatever, right? Just think about it, right? Like if you woke up one day and was like, I have, I don't know, $700 in my bank account. I'm gonna go to this tournament. There's, I don't know, 89 players in this tournament. I'm gonna go and gamble my chances of winning. It's 89 players and everybody puts in $10. And top three is payout. I need money. You just go to the tournament, book your flight, take your chance, and the chances of you winning is super high. So it's like, why not, right? There's no reason not to. Well, the people who grind the game, they don't have a job and they're just grinding and then they're winning money from it. I say do it, right? I say, why not?
I mean, yeah, it's like, how do you? I look at. It's like how, yeah, it's like obviously I look at everything that I've done and it's like, clearly I'm not supposed to have regrets. Like that would be ridiculous. Like, and I've had to make, financial sacrifices too. Like, yeah, it's like, it's not a small amount of money.
I mean, like I said, I just want the medals. I actually don't even care about winning. Winning is, like me getting top 3 for Column Breaker is a plus. I just want the medals, right? My thing is that, so each medal I get, every time I bring a medal home, my daughter, like, she does Taekwondo, but she tries to like match her Taekwondo trophies with my medals, right? So if I get a medal, and she's like, no, I have to get a medal. If I come home without a medal, she's like, oh, I'm going to surpass you. I don't really care about really trying to get to that. I mean, it's a plus, right? If I win a tournament, that's great. Happy for me. But if I can get a medal, if I get 9th in a tournament, that's a loss. That's bad. For me, it is. Maybe not for most people. They're like, oh, I got 9th. Yeah, I did better than last year. Different because, like, I mean, besides me being a top player, on top of that, like, I need the medal. I don't want to go there and get nothing, right? That's just my thing. I don't know why, like, you guys do it.
Well, I actually, like, kind of debated this in my head, and like I was kind of like right about like October of last year, I was like, on some copium. I was like really upset because like I was really at a wall, and I just like didn't know. Was tried everything I could think of to get past Cypher, and I like really made a resolution to like try to get
Do you
there
feel like
by
you
Donkey
surpassed him?
Soda.
Do you feel like you surpassed him?
No, but I feel
Yeah.
like
You feel like you're equal?
I feel like I'm on the way to like matching the level, but I want like the level of understanding I'm at now. Here's the thing, right? You don't control when you level up, right? But the
Yeah, it just kind of happens, right?
yeah, like the level I'm at now, I wanted to be at last October, and I was like really upset that I couldn't make it there. Uh, and I forget what we were talking about, to be honest. I don't know why what was the point you brought up?
The point I was talking about is how like certain people play to get certain things. Like mine is I just want the medals.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And that people like people like you know, who currently, you know, they anybody who doesn't have a job, right? But they're grinding the game, they should make money uh from playing. It's a plus, right? Like you can wake up one day and just play, hey, I'm gonna go to this tournament that's in, I don't know, Texas. It has Sam Show and it has 89 people in it. I'm gonna go win that tournament.
So yeah, I think I remember. Okay, so I was thinking right about Frosty Frostings this year, and I was like, you know, what's gonna happen if I can't do what I need to do, and how am I gonna react if I don't win? And then I kind of just mulled it over, and it's like, you know, ultimately it kind of doesn't actually matter, because realistically, if I lost, I'd just keep doing everything. Like, why would I do any, like, that's not, the reason those trophies are there, all 6 of those trophies, the reason they're sitting there is because I love the game. That's it. I didn't go on a mission to go get some trophies. I didn't buy an Xbox. Like, I'm gonna go buy an Xbox so I can get 6 trophies in 2024. Like, no, that's not why.
Yeah, right. It just kind of things that just kind of happened, right? Like you went to play the game, and at any given time, right? Obviously not now, but in the past, at any given time, you could have lost.
Yeah,
There's many times where you could have lost.
bro, I lost. It was down to the interaction at Combo Breaker. If I guessed that Easton bait wrong, I would have got 4th.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would have played Andy. Not
Oh,
this Combo
yeah.
Breaker, last year's Combo Breaker.
Last year, Combo Breaker. Yeah. Yeah, it was a plus. Thing is, we're gonna say the thing is that if little things like that, little things like that change the flow of how the game is played, right? I mean, I think now it's a little bit too late, but the worst part is that I feel like right now I'm at like my peak, right? Playing the game.
That's the
Which
thing too. I'm actually think I know I'm at peak. I don't know if I don't know if I'll ever actually. I feel good that I'm at peak, but I don't know if I'll get better than this. To be honest.
I think I can get better than this, but the thing is I'm at peak and I don't want to be here. That's the thing. I don't play the game. Before this, I didn't play the game enough. I honestly, like, I don't lab as much as you guys. I just use the knowledge I already have, right? Which is like grinding hours and hours with the old guys. You know, when we were all like hanging around and playing for hours and theory crafting and all the other shit. And I don't. Again, and I keep saying I don't have the time you guys have. At some point, right, my career kind of blossomed in tech. So
Yeah.
like, I'll never be able to go to a Frosty Faustings ever.
Yeah.
It's just never gonna happen because that's tax season, and I work at an accounting firm, so it's impossible. From January to April, you cannot take time off, and Frosty Faustings is always in January, so it's impossible. So I'm at peak, but I have no reason to be here. I'm playing the game and I'm building more knowledge, and it's really knowledge I don't want, honestly. right? And
I'm
I
I'm
get
gonna
it.
be honest too. Now that I see how people are getting better and how they were able to get better, I don't necessarily know if us, not just me, but us, like the whole scene, is gonna be able to keep the momentum going. Just cause if you look at how well people played that well because it's combo breaker, right? There's a people can say whatever they want, but fortune truth is that main games are quite a bit more important than high games, and people
Yeah,
have
but
a
no,
much
but
different
the thing
attitude.
is, we didn't even know whether there was a pop bonus.
Oh
It just
no.
it just kind of happened, right? Nobody
I
knew.
didn't even announce it; it was just there. We didn't like. We got the pot bonus right. We
Hmm.
got too much money, so it's like okay, well obviously there's a bonus. And SNK didn't say anything.
Yeah, it just kind of happened, right? When the money came into my account, I was like, wow, that's.
Making the fat stacks.
I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
if I got
almost.
something, I definitely know Maki got a slice of life, bro. I know Maki got some sauce.
Yeah.
Even Grand Blue, right? I was talking to one of my teammate who got fourth in Grand Blue. Bro, she got mad money for getting fourth.
I mean that bracket was enormous, so yeah,
Yeah,
like it was
right.
a 60 6,500 pot with no bonuses, right? And I think there was a bonus, right?
I think there was a bonus for like a lot of the games.
Yeah,
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 so
a lot of money.
the two
Money is
highest
in
the two highest
Arceus.
brackets in the tournament was Street Fighter 6 and Tekken, obviously, right? And then it was Grand Blue after. So, I mean, it doesn't matter because for a dead game like us, we had 73 people in it, which is pretty good,
Hmm.
right? You know,
I mean,
and
numbers. To be fair, numbers have been like going down
Yeah, they
since
yeah, because
have.
last year,
Frosty,
but not that much. It's not considerably less people.
but
Yeah,
So
Frosty had
yeah.
what this year? Frosty what 100 and
It had
something?
55,
Oh, I had
which
wow.
yeah, it was tied with DNF Duel, exactly tied, like 55 for the lowest entered game. But if you think about it, is 55 that bad? Like for all, considering how things went this year, right? The rollback was delayed for like a year,
hmm,
and the Steam rollback, it was like, it was so shit. It didn't become not shit until today.
yep.
So for like
Honestly, I
what
think honestly, I think if Combo Breaker had did like a on-site stuff, we probably would have gotten more people.
what do you mean on site?
Like on-site registration too.
Oh, they're never gonna
Oh,
do that. I don't know about that.
yeah, no.
Yeah,
Not
Yeah.
for a
but I
major.
think we would have gotten more people. I mean, we had an odd bracket, right? 73
I
is an
mean,
odd number.
I actually don't. I don't agree with on-site registration. I think someone that registers on-site doesn't actually care. So I don't
Just
actually
for
think like
spot monsters. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's like
I know.
I
To be
mean,
entirely honest, this tournament had quite a lot of pod monsters already.
right? Yeah. I mean, I, actually, I don't think we had a lot of pop monsters. I think actually everybody that was played their hearts out. Viewing all the matches,
Uh,
I didn't really see too many people like, I'm gonna fucking lose anyways, right? Even Dusty Feats, who admitted like, I don't play the game anymore and I'm still playing basically season 1, season 2 Ukio. It played his heart out, right? I think a lot of people who entered, they 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 wanted to do their best for the game. Again, you weren't there, Scrub, for the losers bracket. That's why I said the loser bracket is wild. But if you look at the games for loser bracket, people were playing like they've been playing the game for years.
I think
Like
top 16. I think you're right. But pools, I definitely saw some kind of some cloud shoes.
well, yeah,
Or
yeah.
let's
Like I
be
said,
real.
it wasn't everybody.
Yeah,
But I don't agree with you. I don't think it's as much as you think it was with the pop monster stuff, right? I think I think selective in each bracket there was a selective amount of people, excluding the top players. That was like, I'm gonna do the best that I can in this bracket. And I'm gonna do what I can because before I got here, I freshened up on the game. Even though I didn't join Steam and play with people, even though I didn't go on PS4, I just kind of like played my character in training mode for a couple of hours and just went with it, right? That's probably that's what I heard most people doing, right? Like, hey, you playing the game again? Nah, man. Honestly, I just was playing in training mode for a couple of hours and just kind of remembered. That was the most common response I got from most people.
I mean, yeah, I guess I appreciate that, but I'm like, I actually talked this with Maki, and it's like, uh, I'm like less and less enamored with the support, so to speak, that begins and ends with entering the bracket, because it's like, this is why I gave Otto so much shit, right? It's like, we need people playing outside of these events. We need people like that are gonna go home and play, right? That's what is going to keep the game up, right? And it's like, it's kind of hard for me to be appreciative when like people have no intention of playing at home. They clearly haven't played at home, and then they go to another event and it's the same thing, and it's like, okay, the game's not. I don't know how much this is doing, because like people have enough problems trying to play, and it affects like everything. That makes it harder to do lobbies, makes it harder to do tournaments, makes it harder for people to get better. And it's like, I don't know, bro. People even at like, even not just net play, but like some of these people, they go to events. Even at Frosty's, like there wasn't a lot of people playing casuals. It was like me, Maki Kelly, Healing Vision, and then yeah, there was like way less people playing casuals than there was last year. Last year it was like the setups were popping because it was right after the rollback announcement. I walked in on Saturday morning, and all the setups were going. I was like astonished. And this year it was like the setups were just sitting there like a whole bunch of time, and it's like these guys are here, and not only do they only play at majors, they just hop on the setups to play their pool, and then they just leave. And it's like, I don't know, bro, because it's like I don't.
But you're not with all the games that are current and the games that are coming out next year. People are not going to come back to Sam Show. Unfortunate to say it, but it's just what it is, right? We may get a flux of people that want to ride the new wave, right? And I mean, forgive me, but all the new people who are rolling up in here, right? Because they did the patch, stability, and they just got the game for their birthday or Christmas, or their mom accidentally got them the game by mistake. Still, they within a few months, they may or may not leave, right? That's why I don't. That's why I let Inazuma do like the teaching part. And if they play Ukyo, they have to at least play Ukyo 3 months or more for me to be like, oh, let me help you. I'm not just gonna waste my time picking up people. I've learned the hard way. There's one person, I'm not gonna say any names. I put a lot of time into them, hours and hours and hours and hours, and they just stopped playing the game, and it was wasteful. So I think you won't get the satisfaction of, hey, I did well this tournament. I'm gonna go home now and play the game, or I got bodied this tournament. I want to come back to Combo Breaker or go to Evo. I'm gonna play the game again. No, people. Number one, people don't like to lose. Average scrub doesn't like to lose. Number one.
Yeah, straight up.
That's number one. And then when they roll up in here, you know, they gotta play us, who's been playing the game since 2019. Right?
Yeah, that's the problem with Xbox. Like, you remember the Evo podcast? I know you weren't there, Ghost, but like, Kelly alluded to like a whole bunch of people from the Xbox One era. They like don't play anymore, and it's because of us, right?
Yeah, I listen. You know, it's funny. I've been listening to all your podcasts.
Yeah.
I listen to all your podcasts.
Yeah.
All of them. Every last one of them that you produced, I've listened to all of them.
Oh, thank you. I guess.
I like to listen to things while I drive. So.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yes,
Yeah.
I do that too.
Yeah.
It's kind of I don't know. I think maybe people would argue with this, but I think you pay more attention to the things. Well, in my case, to the things that I'm listening while I'm in the car.
Yeah.
Rather than
so either I listen to like I used to listen to like Scrubs podcast, or I'll listen to like horror. I'm into like a lot of horror books.
Mm.
So like while I'm driving, I listen to like a horror book. Or like if there's a gaming podcast I can listen to, I'll listen to that too. Anything interesting. When he would make these podcasts, I would always listen to them while I'm driving. Or like if I'm not doing anything, or maybe if I'm working out or I'm running, I'll listen to them. Just to hear like, his thoughts and like what's going on. Because I still wanted to keep up with the Samsung community. So you were basically like my 10 o'clock news, basically.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that because, like, to be honest, I was getting to the point it kind of started to feel like I don't think anyone actually listens to the podcast because the last one did
Nah,
not
I mean,
get good
at
viewership.
some point, I wasn't the only one. Gnoski used to listen to your podcast also. Right? Me and him used to talk about it. And Inazuma also. So, uh, I don't know. It may not be what you expect, but I definitely listened to all of them while I was doing something of some sort. So, it, you know, keep up the good work, I guess.
Thank you. I'm
It's nice to
glad.
listen to.
I'm glad we
I
found a
mean,
format that kind of works. Just because, like, I was a little worried because initially I thought it was gonna be like me and Inazuma because that's kind of how a podcast is. It's like a set couple of people, and then sometimes they have guests, and then Inazuma kind of bounced almost immediately, and it's just like, well, I
I
think we have a
think the most
problem.
interesting podcast one was the one with everybody on it. I think it was you, Human
Evo,
Vision, Maki,
yeah, that was
Yeah,
Evo. We had
probably was
six
evil.
people.
Yeah.
It was
Kelly.
like 3 hours long.
Yeah, I listened to that straight through. Kelly had some really interesting points. It
Yeah,
was nice to listen to.
she had like some insider insight.
Yeah. Um, but I think we're not gonna get. We're not gonna. It's very rare. Uh, so obviously everybody knows, or if you didn't know, I used to be. I'm a huge anime fan. Right. I'm sponsored by DTN for anime originally. Right. So usually games like this, once it gets to its like dying point per se, you're not gonna get a flux of people because of an update. Be like, I'm gonna dedicate my time to this game now. Most people now are gonna play casually, once they keep getting bodied by a selective few people, they'll be like, all right, the skill gap is too huge. I don't have the time to play this game. I also don't have the time to get to this person's skill level who's probably been playing this game mad long. I'm good. I'm gonna play with my friends locally, or I'm gonna look for the average scrub in the thing. And that's been a very common thing inside of Samsha too, right? You get that one person that rolls up, like, I'm new, who's trying to play, and then like 3 months later, they're like, I feel skilled enough. That's and everybody knows who I'm talking about here too. I wanna play the top 10, play you guys, and I can beat you guys. I know I can because I took a couple games off of, I don't know, let's say Maki a couple times.
Yeah,
Right, so now I can finally beat Scrub and shit, and then get upset when Scrub wins, right? Like how am I losing to you still? Like I beat Maki just the other day. Like it's not fair, type shit. We're gonna get those type of people to come in, but as far as people dedicating themselves to the game, I don't know.
thing
I don't
is
want to be
like,
I don't want to be
here's a,
Debbie Downer, but I don't think it's happening.
I think like if people play and if they try it, I don't mind. If they make the decision not to play, I don't mind. That's the thing. If somebody, the thing I actually appreciate most is when people just straight up tell me I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna play anymore. Like a lot of people, they don't want to do that. They'll actually get mad. Like if someone tells them that. But for me, because we had people in Edmonton that were like they used to be interested in the game, or they used to play a little bit back in like 2019, and they got interested with the rollback announcement. But then like Tekken came out, and then they straight up told me like I suggested like, cause I'll bend over backwards to help people play. Like I like offered to let a friend borrow my Xbox account, my extra Xbox account, because I have all the DLC just so he can play in tournament. He was like, yeah, I appreciate it, but I'm only playing SO6. And I was like, I appreciate that. I don't mind if you make a
Yeah.
decision not to play. The thing I fucking can't stand is these pseudo players, these like sorta Samsho players. These people that pretend like they're these big fans and they like retweet crap and then they're not
But
in
but
any
Scrub, no one,
discords.
no
They're
one,
like,
no one owes anybody that explanation of, hey man, I'm gonna stop playing the game now.
it's
I know
not. It's not
no
the
one's
explanation. It's what they
doing that.
represent. It's what they represent. It's
Yeah,
just like
but you
annoying
can
because
be
they're
a
like,
fan of the game and not want to play the game anymore. You gotta. People have egos, man. Especially us men. We have egos, bro.
Oh yeah.
You can't think about it. I just got the game out the package. My first person to play was this fucking scrub Cybot. I really want to keep playing this game. What the fuck? Especially if I know who you are, right? Fuck no. That's the reason why. Like my name, after getting into like a bunch of issues, my name is not what it is in bracket. It will always stay that way. That's why when people are like, "Hey man, your Uki is really good. Who are you?" I'm a nobody. So I don't want to scare anybody off, right? I'm not saying you have to be like me, right? But I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to. FGC has such a thing, like such a stigmatism, like oh man, that's a top player. Do I really want to play that guy? Like, I've only been playing the game for 3 months. Do I want to play Scrub Cybot or Maki? Like, you'll get that guy that's like, oh man, hey Maki, hey Scrub, it's so much fun playing you guys. I just absolutely love getting 30 and 0 by you guys. I learned so much. You're not learning shit, bro. You're getting Scooby Doo Wop Opped and destroyed left and right in East End.
yeah,
You're not having
it's really
fun.
hard. Like, you gotta read most. There's tournament mode, right? It's like, we know what the mindset is, right? All three of us in here, we know what we should be doing, which is like, we should be playing to improve. We should be always challenging ourselves, and we should play the best player available. But like, that the average player,
that
that's
ain't
not
everybody.
that's not the mindset. The average
Yeah,
player is,
exactly.
I'm going to play this video game, and now I'm losing, and now I'm mad, and that's like,
Think
most
think
people,
about it,
that's
right?
how most people have like a rationalization mindset, and their first instinct is to is not self deconstruction. It's to blame place, which is basically why scrub quotes exists, right? But that's like, I can't. It's hard. It's very very hard to reconstruct that, right? So
But
that's
honestly,
not.
Scrub, honestly, you're an average player. You get home from work. You want to de-stress yourself, especially if you have a rage mentality.
Mm.
You really think I want to fucking play Maki and Scrub Cybot? I just got home from work, right? You guys auto try hard, right? You get into a match, it's automatic,
I guess so.
right? Even if you don't try, you're optimizing the opponent. It's just naturally happening. You've been playing the game so long, it's natural, right? I'm not even gonna lie to you and say I don't do it. If I'm playing Ukio, I don't care who you are. And I just told someone the other day, it's a one-player game. I'm optimizing you unless you make it otherwise, right? You could be someone's 6-year-old brother. That's just what it is. It naturally happens. Does the average player want to come home and play you guys? Absolutely not. Because work was hard, and then now I'm going 10-0 against Scrub Cybot and Maki. Nah, I'm not doing this. Thanks for the games. I'm done with this game. I'm gonna play a player one game now, where I can win, and be okay and be happy. Because obviously winning gives you that power, right? Think about it. How many people have you played where they won one game and they're like, oh, I got my one. GG's, thanks for the fun.
Yeah.
We'll play against. Bro,
Yeah.
that's the power they need. Who wants to leave off of a loss? Who wants to leave off of 10-0? Nobody. Nobody wants to do that. That's why, like, I'm semi-happy Cypher isn't in the main Sam Show Discord. He would cause complete chaos.
Yes, yes, you would.
It would be complete chaos because the skill gap is insane, right?
Yeah,
Nobody would play him. He would get no games here.
I'd play it.
Outside of,
I love playing.
I
I
mean,
don't love it. But
honestly, other than the top 7, right? None of the average players are going to play Cypher because
no,
who
absolutely
wants
not.
to come home?
There's people who dodge
and-
me
Exactly.
or Cypher. They aren't ready.
Do I want to come home and play a champion? No, I don't want to play you, bro. I want to drink my coffee and play the exact same skill level or lower. I don't want to play you.
Mhm.
I gotta think now. I gotta think now how to get in. I gotta think now about end game. I gotta think now about mid game. Like I think now about anti-air. I don't want to think about that stuff. I haven't learned that stuff yet. That's just the average scrub, a casual person who just picked up Sam Show or who's been playing the game, who plays the game. I don't know, 2 hours a day. That's what I'm saying. Like we're not gonna get that flux of players that you're hoping to get. It just isn't happening. It's mostly casuals playing the game. I mean, just look at the European guy you played earlier. He's like, I have a wife and I have a child that breaks cords. I'm on Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
That's like super average. He's not thinking about your Canadian connection. I mean, I need to be wired up to make sure I get the best one frame connection against Mexico and Canada. It's not happening. I don't care about any of that. I just want to play the game. And that guy is probably never going to play you again.
Yeah. Thing though is like, the way you're talking about is like, you're talking about brand new people, right? The phenomenon of like these pseudo Sam Show players.
Right.
I'm actually talking about people that like have played fighting games for a long time and are actually at like every major or like most majors.
But playing a lot of fighting games and going to majors doesn't mean you're good.
Yeah, but it's like, it's just annoying because it's like Mark, you remember the Twitter thread? It was like, oh, I love Sam Show. Whoa, Vikings in this game. I didn't know Viking. It's like, who the fuck? You posted that one thing and it popped off, right? And we got all those. The caption was like, is Sam Show a slow game? No, it's not a slow game. It's just stupid mindset for people that don't understand the game. Who are you? You don't. What are you fucking? You wouldn't? Did you? Have you played Sam Show in a year? Like, what is this?
So here's something for you.
Like,
Again, I'm not gonna say any names because I don't want you to get in any trouble. But so there was a Viking player because he played Guilty Gear, and he came to Sam Show, and he was like, I main Viking in Sam and Guilty Gear. He's the same character. I love this game. He got destroyed. He went to like a couple tournaments. He went to a couple of local scenes, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not dealing with this. I'm good."
that's
So you're not gonna. I was like, "You're not gonna play the game anymore." He's like, "Nah, man, I'm good." He wasn't winning, and he wasn't. Even though Viking is a copy and paste of Exerd, she's really not. It's weird. Like, you can't play her like Exerd. So it's.
I don't like when
like,
people
oh.
describe Viking like that because it's like that's not like. It's about the context of Sam Show, right? I don't know anything about gear, right?
But most of the people who come to Sam Show, assuming that they don't have an SNK background or whatever, they kind of like mask the I love Sam Show type of thing because Viking's in the game, or I love Sam Show because this character is in the game, or blah blah blah. But once they start losing, this is the same point I was trying to get earlier. Once they don't get that good feeling of winning,
yeah, that instant gratification. Right?
Yeah, that oh man, yeah, this feels great. Like I could play this game, like people pick up fighting games, and some people, no matter how many, it's like Final Fantasy. I play Final Fantasy 14 also, right? Not as much probably as you did, but I have a buddy who's like super serious with Final Fantasy 14, and like he's the same thing, right? People pick up Final Fantasy 14 and they're rating and stuff, and they just can't get it. They can't get the high level movements in a raid, and eventually they quit because they continue to fail the raid over and over and over again. It's the same thing with fighting games, right? Right? You're grinding fighting games, you're labbing and you're grinding and you're labbing, and you're not seeing any results because you're still the same players over and over again. You still can't beat that person that your bracket demon. I'm sure we've all dealt with that.
It's interesting that you brought up FF14 because FF14 has been designed over the years to be very, very, very deliberate about not forcing anyone to like have to contend with raid if they don't want to, because people actually get to Savage and they have a meltdown, like they can't handle it, and it's like if you think about it, if you're in a fighting game, you're always playing Savage. Really. You don't have a
Yeah.
choice. You can choose not to engage with your rotation. If you're just doing main scenario quests, or you're doing normal mode raid, or you're doing roulettes, you can basically just mash a button. But like,
I mean, when you think about it, like think about it, Ukyo, Hibiki, right? They're DPSs, honestly.
Mm.
When you think about it, right? I've always said this, right? In like my philosophies and stuff. Ukyo and like Hibiki, and like maybe even Baiken, right? They they're DPS characters across the board, right? If you can't maximize the damage you dish out to your opponent each time, you're gonna lose, right? Block Sabamis getting punished, right? You know, Hibiki can't open you up outside of grab, right? They're gonna die. This is what it is. You can't, and there's players who just can't grasp it. Right? I had a buddy who picked up Samsho like 4 days. We played. This was years ago. And he was like, "I'm not fucking playing this game anymore. Fuck this game." He wasn't even bad. He played SOG. He wasn't even bad. He just couldn't do it. It just wasn't a thing. He just can't do it. He can't mentally grasp playing and losing. Like let's say it's down to the wire. It frustrates him. Like it's end game.
Yeah.
He thinks this is correct and he does the B button and he gets E-send and he dies. Or like he went for the grab and it whiffed. He flips the fuck out. Because
Yeah.
he's like, I'm so close but yet so far. Right? But Final Fantasy 14, he's on it. He's optimal as shit. I mean, when you look at him play, he knows what to do. It's like you could do the same thing in fighting games, but you don't get that gratification. You don't get that feeling of winning and
MMOs are
you know,
definitely very like spoon-fed gratification in a way.
right. Samsung doesn't have that spoon-fed type of thing, right? Like you could lose 60% and be like, "Wow, where the hell did my health go?" And you were winning in the beginning.
Yep.
There isn't many fighting games that are like that. Guilty Gear, right? It's very rare that the tide shifts like that on endgame. If you're getting destroyed in the corner, you're getting mixed. You're getting mixed. You you may or may not be coming back from that. Even if the shit is equal, the characters in that game is OD. Undernight is another game, right? Samsho is too privileged. Unless we're talking about Marvel, then you got X Factor, and that's another game that you can technically take the game, right? But X Factor only goes so far, right? Like you need that gratification, especially the new guys that come into the game. They're I'm gonna tell you guys right now, everybody here in this chat, everybody here on this call, we ain't letting Scrubs win. It ain't happening.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Exactly, absolutely fucking not. You're not gonna win easily. Absolutely not.
I
You're
don't
gonna
think.
get 20. You're gonna get 20 and old. You're gonna have to deal with endgame and getting E-send. If
Mhm.
Yeah.
you lose your weapon, and I'm up around, and I'm bursting, you're gonna get blasted. It's that people are like, yo, why are you try harding? Double burst? What are you doing? Like, yeah, because you're gonna lose. That's what it is. And then 3 days later, yo, you want to play again? Nope. We had that one
Yeah.
guy in here. We had that one guy in the Discord. He uninstalled the game 3 times.
Dog.
He left. He went to Fightcade. He came back. He's like, oh, I'm gonna try again. He got destroyed. He left again. He went to Fightcade, came back, and it just kept happening. There's no gratification.
Yeah.
Yes, it's great on our part that we do our jobs as players who've been veterans who's been playing the games for a long time to not let scrubs beat us so easily, so we don't look like trash. But at the same time, they also are not going to come back. That flux of characters that we have right now, I guarantee you next week it ain't going to be it. You're not going to be seeing the same guys pinging for anybody up for games on PS4, anybody up for games on Steam.
Yeah, I get that for sure. But at the same time, if we even get like 3 of those people to keep playing. That's good.
I mean,
They could
I
they
try
could
I
be
try to
like
push
us one day, right?
I try to push Inazuma, right? Like, even though granted Inazuma sometimes naturally helps them, I'll probably like you always see me like when there's a new guy, I'll ping Inazuma because hopefully Inazuma puts in that time, and he normally does. He puts in that time to help them for a few hours to kind of get their bearings, and then he gives them that love tap. Like they'll be playing, and they may beat him like 1 or 2 times. And then he may let them win 1 or 2 times. I'm like, yeah, man, you got it, man. Look at that, you got it. And they're like, yeah, man, I love this game. And then like they'll always ping Inazuma after that. Hey, man, you want to play again? Because they won, right? They won a couple times. They're like, oh, let's play again. You know, and they want to keep playing. And obviously after a while, Inazuma's like, okay, I can't just keep winning, right? You're gonna lose now. But you know, they get that few days of love that, hey man, like you're not doing so bad. And they come back for more. But no one here in this chat is gonna let them do that. So it's that so and this also brings up the other point of, remember we were talking Scrub and you were like, I don't play players lower than me, but I'm not gonna seek them out. And when they ping for games, I'm not gonna offer my services really to play them. Right? This is that part I can agree with you on, because your skill level is so high that it's useless to play them. Right? And I partially agree with Umasho also, because I think lower players gain absolutely nothing from playing the highest level in a game. And I can contest to this because when I first picked up Under Night, I played Red Blade. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Yeah, I remember
I played
this
Red
story.
Blade, and I got absolutely destroyed. And when I asked him, I said, "Hey man, what can I do to get better at this game?" He was like, "Get good," basically.
Yep.
And it's not until later on where he was like, you know, I shouldn't have said that to you. You know, here's what you can do. At that point, I was like, I don't really want to play the game anymore. So, you know, I just got 10 old by you, I got 20 old by you. You know, when I first came into the game, I wasn't looking to play Red Blade. I was looking to play somebody who's equally skilled or who can help me. But I got getting destroyed by Red Blade, and I'm like, I just kind of got this game. Do I want to play the highest level? I don't. I really don't. But I did, and it felt awful. Like, that's why, like, and I gained nothing from playing him too. I didn't know what was happening. He utterly flexed me every chance he got. It was awful. And like, that's where when Umasho said what she said on Twitter, I can kind of agree, like, and kind of agree with you too. Like, don't seek out when lower players ping, but also like, don't give up your services when they ping too. It's kind of weird. Some people are against this actually. Some people say like you should play everybody, but at that point you're just like de-stressing yourself. Right? You're cooking scrubs for what? Nothing. You know, it's easy work. You know, you're one of the highest levels in the game. What are you learning? What are they learning? You're gonna tell them a bunch of stuff and you're gonna confuse them, which has happened many times in Sam Show, where I've helped someone and then I've given them information and they're like, actually, I don't want to play the game anymore. I'm sorry. It's too much. I can't do this. So
Yeah, that's a doozy.
yeah, yeah. That's why like I think it's a good idea.
I probably, to be entirely honest, I probably shouldn't be demanding more people take the game seriously like I do, because like for most people that's like not even remotely, like Sam Show just straight up like it's not even remotely in the vicinity of a game.
Unless
they would think about it like that, right?
Unless they're doing tournaments like you, there's no reason
Yeah.
for them to take it as serious as you or me or Maki, right? It's not worth it. You gotta understand, fighting games, when you have to invest a lot of time. Remember, you guys, remember the old days when we were grinding Sam Show? We were playing the game for hours. We were doing 100+ matches for matchup charts. We we were trying to find out the most optimal routes for things. We were in Discord calls for hours till 2 a.m. You know, people don't have that time nowadays. Now people are fathers. People careers have jumped off. People are and then the game honestly is dying. Right? We got Garo coming out next year. We got Project L coming out next year. We got Hunter x Hunter coming out next year. People are
It's
not
going to be a very hard year for the game.
right.
I don't know
I,
if I'm dead, but it's going to be. That's why. That's kind of what I said before when I was like worried about like how the meta is going to be progressing. It's like I can see how the meta is progressing, but like the thing about Combo Breaker is that there's some. Even if if there was no money, literally no money, just the fact that it's Combo Breaker and the fact that it's a main game inspires so much effort and respect that the level of play at both this year and last year's Combo Breaker is so high. And it's such a great display of the game, and now if that doesn't happen again, it's like I don't know if the game will ever be able to recapture that because the vibe is not going to be the same at every future tournament. Because like I don't know if you've been watching side tournaments like ECT, CEO. The level
I
of play
watched.
is definitely quite a bit lower, to be completely honest.
I will say, and I'm gonna be very blunt about it. I will say like Maximo is pretty boring.
Yeah, I'm gonna be really here. That's a great example. It was a bit of a letdown. Like I don't
I was
regret
watching
going.
it. I was watching it and I was like, this is pretty boring.
Yeah, it was. To be honest, to be completely honest, that tournament should have been a top 4 stream. We got people like Haru who don't fucking play on a top 8 stream. It's like this actually just makes the tournament look worse, and it's like this is kind of I don't know, right?
Yeah.
It just
Um,
if the tournament is not going to pull like a certain amount of, and even like it's good you mentioned max mode because like at max mode there was almost no casuals. Like
that's
the
why like
setups were sitting there, and people started to notice that they could like charge their phones there and like sit there and watch the top 8. So they did that, and it was fine because nobody was playing. So I didn't even get mad. Like I wasn't playing. So why would I get mad at them? Nobody else wanted. You weren't taking shares from everybody. Like the only casuals I got were like I played Bates in 2 different first to 30s, and I played Painbot in a first to 15, and then I just sat there and did training mode. And it's like how are you supposed to say like this justifies main game when people clearly aren't even playing? And it's like it's that yeah. I actually does make it
Georgia.
look worse.
I'll let you know now, man. Georgia definitely. I'll tell you this. So when I first started picking up biking and stuff, I joined Georgia's Discord,
Yeah,
and I kind of like basically bullied fucking big baits, like with biking, like straight
yeah.
up just like bullied them clean.
Bates loves the game, and he just doesn't play. That's fine,
Right.
right?
Which gets to my next point, right? Like they're not. I could tell they're not playing the game.
Yeah,
They've completely given up on Sam Show. They may love the game, yeah, of course, but they and I'm in their Discord too. They're sitting in the game for hours. They're playing Street Fighter. They're playing Tekken.
that was pretty
They're,
clear.
they're
Painbot's
not.
focus was Street Fighter, and it's like it's really stupid because I can see what he's good at, right? And like how he could be playing. Like if he was playing, he'd easily be in top 8 winner side. Like he'd easily be. I don't know if he'd win. He definitely could be like one of the best, and he's just not gonna be there because he's just if you're not playing, you have to actually play the game to a certain extent, right? And it's just like it's just what it is. If he's not gonna
He
be there,
was.
he's not gonna be there. But
He was. He was. He was. He was great. I mean, look at it. Sorrow kind of disappeared too, right? Doesn't play that. He doesn't play the game as much anymore. Like the game, you know. I will say yes. Xbox has single-handedly kind of like kept the game alive. Let
yeah,
me tell you, the game definitely was about to die.
people get offended when you point that out. We had a big thing in the Discord. I don't know if you saw the main Discord. I was like,
Oh,
Xbox kept this game alive. That's not a matter of opinion. And people like,
yeah, it definitely when when the main Discord was dead, Xbox was pretty active.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Before tournaments, we were having lobbies every day of the week. Three
Yeah,
man
I've
lobbies
watched.
of six,
Yeah,
like six-man lobbies for 3 hours.
I couldn't do the 2 a.m. lobby stretches you guys were doing, man.
Oh yeah, I was definitely a West Coast, predominantly West Coast. That sucks. There's the kind of no way. Well, like, they would start sometimes. They would start at like 6, and I'd be playing there. And most people like log out after like 2 hours, but like I'd sit there, I'd play, and then the first people would swap out. Then the East Coast people would come in, and I'd still be playing. So I got like 5 hours, right?
Yeah, you see, the average player's just not doing that, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of time invested into a set, right? And then like when you go online and you watch like Abba and Punk, and they're doing first to 50s, and Tokido is playing with the gods first to 30s and stuff. It takes a lot of energy to do that stuff, right? It takes a lot of time. Like
Yep.
you don't have, yeah, if you don't have like the mental capacity to do first to question marks or first to 50s. And I was like playing this to Wolf the other day, right? Because he was like he played you, Scrub. So this is actually what happened some time ago. I guess he played you. He took a couple games off you. And he played me. He got 10 0'd. He was like, I'm not understanding, like, why? Like, what do you mean? Like, I played Scrub, I took a few games off him, and then I play you, and you get 10 0'd. Like, you're probably mentally exhausted because you played Scrub first. Played him in 20 games. You know how much mental capacity you need to play Scrub? Saying that you're going to come play me? No way. He's like, well, how do I increase this? And I was like, you just keep playing. But even then, right, it could take a long time for your mental capacity to increase. Game-wise, not intelligent-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you go through tournament, right, when you remember back in the days when brackets were stacked, we're talking 150 people stacked. It's pretty tiring. You're playing through brackets and you get to top 16, and top 16 is stacked. Top 32 was stacked. You know, top whatever the fuck is always stacked, right? You're tired, and they try to have you do all that shit in like one day, and then top 16s tomorrow. You're like, oh, I just want to get to the next day. That's it. If you don't have that mental capacity, you're gonna lose just for having shit for brains. But you did good your first 3 games, and
Shit, right.
you get the top 16, and you gotta play another top player again. At that
Yep.
time, you're done. You're
I'm
not
gonna
even
be
gonna lose.
I'm gonna be real. Part of my This is actually something you can't teach. This is like reactions. It's not something that you can like
Right,
study.
right,
Like
exactly.
I've started to realize I have like nerves of titanium. Like I don't know if you've noticed. I have really really good nerves, and it's really been super influential on my results. It's actually not just gameplay. It's like environment, right? I'm like a sentinel. It's like I don't know how I got to this point to be honest, because I used to have like SF4 days. I used to have really bad nerves.
Yeah, it's the same thing with me. Right, my nerves are not bad anymore. Right, I'm not nervous when I'm playing. Right, but I think that's just could be interaction with my ADHD too. Right, 'cause my mind's already actively moving. But I used to have shit for fucking nerves, bro. I mean, not as bad as Lost Soul. I wasn't on some 8 mile shit where my knees weak, my arms are sweaty, just vomit on my sweater already type shit. But there's definitely some like handshaking in the beginning that I was doing in the beginning of my time playing fighting game. Not anymore though. I just kind of get the sticks and just play and try to like be okay. But I'm pretty sure like there's a lot of players where their hands are shaking, right? I've seen it. And again, Maki, thank you very much for demonstrating this. You were playing against Ghost Scrub. where you went back to the character select screen.
Yep.
Keep telling people this, right? If it's anything, because not even the average player, right? At all highest levels, you still have to let your brain understand what the fuck happened.
Yep. You just have to fight the urge of hitting rematch right away.
Exactly.
Because yeah, you might feel like, okay, I almost got this match, but for some reason I ended up losing, but I was winning, etc., etc. Whatever it was. So you feel like some sort of entitlement of I should have won that, but you know
Oh,
what?
yeah,
Next one
yeah.
it's mine. So let's hit rematch right away, which is not really a good idea in those situations. Is sometimes it's just better. Just take your time. Go back to character select screen or whatever option is available depending on the game. But yeah,
Bro, you get a minute. You get a minute.
Yep.
Character select screen before they
it
come up to you
might
and,
yep,
You
and
can
they ask you
stretch
what's
might
that
wrong.
knocks
too.
down.
Because
Yeah,
some
it might
tournaments don't
knock
have
down a
some
lot.
tournaments don't have rules, so you can just like sit there.
Yeah, you can actually stretch things out too, right? You can actually ask for water. You can actually stretch the minute, right? You get a minute on the character select
Yeah,
screen, and then if you
you're
want to be an asshole, you can be like, "Can I get some water, please? I'm thirsty."
I really abused
yeah.
that last year. It was kind of bad. I took
Yeah,
like
you went to the bathroom like after
yeah
the reset. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
you're allowed to actually like
I mean,
Yeah.
if they don't say no, they don't say no, and it's like
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
they
it's not
actually
against the
can't say
rules.
no. Yeah, they actually can't
Yeah,
say no. Actually, they
they can,
because
but they didn't. I mean,
so
that's
so by default, right? Let's say for instance, I need to go to the bathroom after, right? And then my fucking bladder explodes, right? I could sue you. I can actually
uh
sue the venue. I could sue the tournament
Mhm.
because now I have to go to the hospital, right? I asked to go to the bathroom. You told me no. You can do that in schools too, man. Can I go to the bathroom? No. And then my bladder explodes. It's over for you. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, did you guys see that the Smash guy that shit himself?
I
yeah,
didn't see that.
he won the
Did you hear?
set. He won the match.
He shit himself. He won the set. And they were like the whole venue smelled like ass, like after he left, right? That actually happened, right? It's very recent too. He
Was
was
it a
mid
couple
set.
years ago?
No, this happened recently,
Oh,
man.
maybe I'm thinking of a different incident of Smash player pants shitter.
He shit himself, and then he was mid set. He had to go to the bathroom and shit himself. Won the set. He went to go to the bathroom.
Wow.
It's just what it
No,
is, man.
I remember. I mean, I guess you guys remember when Street Fighter V was at the beginning of their life cycle, and I think it was Julio, the player, the Ken player at that point, that was just having a phone call during a match on
Oh my
stream.
god.
He was having a phone call, and then I think it was versus PR Balrog or something like that. And PR Balrog was like, "Time, hey, time," because he was like extending, like talking. He was talking with a friend or something, or maybe another player on how what actually what to do on that matchup versus PR Balrog. It was crazy because he was like kept going, and the phone call lasted like for a couple more minutes, and it was like, dude, seriously? I mean, what? I mean, you can, but again, the DOs, I think they didn't like. There was no repercussion at all for doing that. I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
when he was on the phone during, yeah,
yeah,
I
he
think
was on the phone.
that started the whole like no coaching thing too.
Yeah,
Because
that's
That was
right.
a
yeah,
big
Yeah,
discourse.
yeah, it started to fall under that scenario because people were taking phone calls, people were getting coached. He
yep,
called, yeah, bro, yeah, and then they banned coaching, right? They kind of banned it
yep,
at some point, especially during the
yep.
big majors. Man, you can't coach somebody.
Yeah, they started like with baby steps. I remember that coaching was allowed during the early stages of the tournament, but they started like, okay, top eight, coaching is not
It's
allowed.
funny.
And
It's funny.
then,
It's not banned anymore, but it's frowned upon actually now. It's frowned upon.
hmm,
It's like it's not even banned. Most tournaments don't even ban it anymore. People just won't do it because how frowned upon it is, because how the negative impact of it when it happened, it's like, oh, okay, I'm not going to do this because it's so bad now. Right? But technically, you can coach still. Actually, you can in between games that 1 minute that person has, you can roll up and be like, hey man, you did this wrong, man. You got to change this, right? And then that they take that 1 minute, and because you can do anything on your 1 minute.
Yep.
On paper, right? You can actually do whatever you want. So
Yeah.
there's no reason like not to do it. It's just how your opponent reacts to it, right? And if did you see Combo Breaker? What is it? That guy with the clown nose when he's playing Arsenal and Ash, right?
Yeah.
During his in between set, he put on a clown nose to try to distract
Clown
Arsenal and
nose.
Ash, and he got ignored.
Yep.
People will do if it's not cheating, bro. You can do it.
That's actually interesting because at last year's Evo, I technically cheated. So when I was playing Sorrow, I lost the first game. Right? I went to character select and I like consulted God. Like I sat there, I was hovering over GSL, and I really thought about it. So I was like, I don't really want to. I was thinking I don't really want to go to losers bracket. And it's like, I was thinking weighing the benefits and the costs. Because like if I pick GSL, there's a chance it goes wrong really quickly and I handicap myself immediately. I was thinking, it took me like 5 minutes to come to the conclusion of like, I could just do what I need to do on Baiken. And I didn't remember, but technically that tournament had a rule about how long you can sit at character select. And I definitely broke it. And nobody said anything. Nobody.
Yeah, because it's not common.
There's no one would ever tell someone, like for etiquette reasons, no one would tell somebody to go get off character select. I heard a murmur, like somebody mentioned, isn't there a time? But that was like right when I picked my character. So yeah, technically I broke the rules. But
I mean, if no one says anything, then technically you didn't break anything.
I mean, I did break it. I just didn't get hold accountable, right?
I mean, honestly, I don't think really there's any repercussions, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing about it is these types of things, they don't get pushed a lot. So at best,
yeah, they don't.
A TO would have came up to you and said, "Hey, man, you got to get off this." That's at best, right? At worst, you know, some serious TL would be like, "Oh, hey, you're taking too long. What's going on? Is there a problem with your stick or something like that?" You're like, "No, I was just thinking. I'm sorry. I went over," and then you move on. There's never been a repercussion for it.
Nope, not really.
There's no one really sitting there taking 5 minutes to be on the character select screen, right? It doesn't take 5 minutes to realize what the fuck happened in the last match. It's just not a thing. Well, even if you did break the rules, what really would happen? Hey, Scrub, you need to get off the character select screen. Please pick your character now. That's it.
Yeah, probably that would. Yeah,
you would get
probably
you'd get a
would be
warning.
the enforcement. Yeah,
even if they wanted to do that, they'd have to like time you to be consistent. They'd have to like get out a stopwatch, right?
Yeah, and the TO doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
honestly.
They're not gonna do that. So
a lot of the TOs are not. They don't care.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Straight up. A lot of TOs are just dudes wearing T-shirts. They like don't even know what the rules are.
Right. They're not being paid for it too, neither.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like tennis or a basketball match where there's a ref and the ref rolls up to you. League of Legends, even League of Legends, right? Those refs are also being paid.
Of course.
You're doing something stupid. They're gonna come up to you and give you a warning, right?
And they get loads and loads of shit if they make a mistake.
Right. Exactly. Well, the TOs here are getting what, $20?
Yeah, it's actually pretty bad.
At best. Yeah, at best.
At best, or their thing is getting paid, right? Their venue fee is getting paid, right? Like they don't care.
The other thing is they don't watch sets, so technically, if somebody breaks a rule, like they use a glitch, or they because some games have that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, JoJo's like me and Vato play JoJo's, right? Tons of glitches going on there.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to use the Dio glitch. People do it anyways. Who cares?
That's why.
What's gonna happen?
No one complains.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the time stop glitch is super broken. Right? I beat you game 1. And before the next game starts, I do time glitch, hit you again, you die a second time. Nothing you can do about that. It's super messed up. But because it's so hard to do, it's like if you can do it, then I deserve it. It's literally one frame. It's like put it this way: it's like killing Baiken and then e-sending her when she's dying. That's how hard it is. Right? You kill the person and then you do the input immediately. You have to be really fast, and then it stops time. It stops the whole game. You kill them again because their health comes back. But if you do that, the TO is not going to be like, "Oh man, you did a glitch. Sorry, you get banned." TO is going to be like, "Oh well, I guess your opponent kind of deserved it if you can do that." So, I mean, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
So
has been very, very philosophical. We should talk about the event now.
Okay. So I still have a lot to talk about actually with Common Breaker.
That's fine. I mean, probably go another hour. It really doesn't matter. Like, as long as people have the time.
Yeah, I have roughly until 1 o'clock max.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care either. More content is good.
I
Uh,
have like 1 more hour, so it's fine.
That's fine.
It's fine.
I really
Yeah.
shouldn't. Yeah, shouldn't need more than an hour.
So I definitely want to talk about the overall event. Right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I will say the overall event very enjoyable. I didn't like, and I think this is me asking for too much. I think everybody has something that they're asking for too much. I didn't like after the aftermath. We couldn't. Yeah, I know we went out to eat, but like nobody would have liked it if like so like for like the Street Fighter crew, even like after the tournament, like Tekken crew, they went to play more games, right? They kind of went to like a suite. They played games, right? That ain't happening with Sam Show.
I think everyone was really tired. 'Cause
Yeah,
We went to the steakhouse, then we went back. Everyone went their separate ways, and we all went to bed. I was so
even
beat.
even before that though, like it was just me, you, and Maki playing it in Wolf, right? You know, we had all these people. You know, it would have been
mean-
nice to have like, yeah, you could have played casuals downstairs, but I don't know. Like I like those types of interactions, like it's salty sweets. You know, like those types of experiences are special.
I'm gonna be honest. I think part of it was like, oh, Maki, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think part of it has to do with the fact that it really the finals were on Sunday. So yeah, I mean Samsho finals were on Sunday, which is fine, but that also has something to do with people wanting to see other things, rest, etc. If we had like I don't know finals on Saturday, we probably would have a lot of games afterwards and even on Sunday. But yeah, and also other people since I mean my flight the next day was at 7 a.m. in the morning, so basically I needed to get ready, and I really didn't sleep much. So yeah, that was that as well. So I think it's because of that. That's one of the reasons why there were no games, and also we ate like pigs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's yeah, make it that's making difficult to think about games when you're trying to process the food that you just ate. Yeah.
I was thinking like, this tournament would be like prime for like a suite, right? I thought that's what we were gonna do, but like I don't really actually think you can kind of plan that kind of thing. I think it's all vibes, right? And like it's yeah, it kind of just didn't work out, right? Like I got casuals I didn't expect to get, and then like I got to play at times I didn't think I get to play, and then the times I thought I was going to play, we didn't get to play, and it's like I was actually a little miffed, right? Because like I absolutely like last year I absolutely cracked out because the setups were there all weekend in the same spot.
Yeah.
And this year like I remember I was really annoyed because they were pretty dodgy about the setups this year. right? Like we got there on like Friday. There was no setups. And it was
Mhm.
like, what the fuck? Well, if we knew there wasn't even gonna be setups, why would we have even gotten here for for the Friday? I could have saved a bunch of money.
I'm actually
Yep.
happy I came on Friday instead of Thursday. I
Yeah,
couldn't find any more flights on Thursday, so I'm happy that Samsung came on Saturday.
Saturday and Sunday. Yeah.
I was super happy. Pretty sure I can't do that for Evil though, but uh, I saved a bunch of money like not coming in on Thursday,
Yep.
flying in on Friday, and leaving on Monday, which is nice.
and it's
And
like
yeah.
they intentionally don't announce the schedule
Hmm.
until late, so it's like now we all get screwed. We all have to pay more money, and it's like,
Yep.
It's actually kind of annoying actually
yeah, it's pretty bad.
because like every tournament does this. It's kind of annoying because your tournament starts on Saturday. My game starts on Saturday. I could come in on Friday, but I'm here on Thursday, so I have
Yep.
2 days. I have 2 days of downtime boringness, right?
Exactly.
Especially like, let's say, I don't know. I come on a Thursday. It's empty, which is obviously day 0. And then
Mhm.
Friday, my game doesn't start until Saturday. Another game. It's another day. I'm not doing nothing, right? And sitting there doing nothing. I'm bored shitless. I'm actually happy like coming in on Friday for a tournament that starts on Saturday. So I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Uh,
actually how it's supposed to be. I mean, yeah, you don't have to be there if you're not going to do anything, unless you play other games, right? But if
Other,
that's not the case, yeah.
I mean, we should be under the assumption that if the game's a mid game, there should be setups for it. It's like a huge pet
Hmm.
peeve when I go to a
Hmm.
tournament and there's no setups, and it's like it really feels like it's like a bit insulting.
Yep.
but the thing about Combo Breaker is that the Combo Breaker had a shit ton of qualifiers, right? They had Grand Blue, Tekken, Street Fighter.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it's
Right.
like a matter of integrity, right?
Yeah.
It's not, if you're gonna have the game as a main game, you need to do right by it, and they
Yeah.
very clearly just
I
didn't.
get where you're coming from, but I keep saying this and it sounds harsh. They don't care about our game.
Yeah, obviously they will care. I mean, in practice, what it's gonna happen, they will care for the games that have the most numbers and uh
Yeah,
the
from a
most
business
spotlight.
standpoint.
Yeah,
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 exactly.
yeah. Because obviously, yeah, there's Capcom, there's Arxis.
Even KOF, right?
Yeah,
KOF was a
yeah,
qualifier also.
yeah, yeah. So it's just natural for them to care more about those games. But at the same time, if you announce a main game, you should at least give them like some sort of equal treatment. Maybe not. I mean, I can understand not having like 20 setups because, okay, there's only 70 people for this tournament. Okay, let's just give them. I mean, you're not gonna have a full table with setups, but maybe 2 or 3 that they will run along
Honestly,
for the whole weekend.
I think they gave
Whatever.
us a nice amount of setups for Samsung.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, I mean, because ultimately nobody was playing, right? Nobody was grinding casuals like all the other games. Setups are
Yeah,
empty,
actually, we had my extra setup, right, and it didn't even get used that much.
right? So I mean, from a business standpoint, it would be wasteful. They invest a lot
Yeah.
of time and nobody's playing, right? And then from our player standpoint, right, we can get upset like, yo, you didn't give us our game the satisfaction you did for Tekken and Street Fighter and all the rest of them like that. But it serves us correct because nobody played casuals. And that's my original point, right? It's sad. It's sad that other than the people who made top 8 were the ones playing, and even then, right, it wasn't even the people who made top 8. It was people who made top 3, top 4 that played casuals a lot, right?
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
people just kind of like they entered a quarter, they played, they lost, they dipped.
Yep.
You didn't see them again after that. You know, it was, oh, I lost already, so I'm good. You know, it wasn't like, hey, let me try playing some more type stuff.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, and yes, everybody wants to go look at other games, and there's a lot of things to do at Combo Breaker, but no one's, and I say this even earlier, nobody's playing our game, bro. Nobody's playing this game. This game to most people is it's a Discord game, right? It's a dead game, and it's
Yep.
like it's kind. Sometimes it feels, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way. When tournaments give us Sam Show, feels like we should be lucky to have it there, type shit. Like be happy we have your game here,
That's
right?
definitely the attitude. That
Yeah.
is, it's pretty palpable, to be entirely
Like
Yeah.
honest.
be because it's always something, right? It's always they only stream top four,
It's always some fuck. You're
or
right. It's always some bullshit.
yeah, it's always some
8 p.m.
bullshit.
top 16, or some
Mhm.
like that last year, like, or fucking 10 a.m. finals, like
Oh
some
yeah.
bullshit. Right?
You know, like we should be groveling to their feet that we got Sam Show, and yeah, it's great to have that 73 people for the tournament, but don't make it sound like it's a chore for you. You know what I'm trying to say? Like
Hmm.
we're grateful that you gave us Sam Show and that, and we're grateful that so many people supported it, but does it have to feel like you kind of threw us into a corner and was
Hmm.
like play your game and be happy type shit? It's awful. It feels awful, and it's worse because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person feeling this way too.
No. No, you're
Right?
not.
I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people. And
Hmm.
then if you complain like, hey, our game didn't get this respect, I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna be like, well, be lucky you have your game here because
Yep.
there's only 73 people there, and there's over 1,000 people for this game. There's over 1,000 people for this game,
Hmm.
and it's like, but the game in numbers for a dead Discord game still did well. 73 people is pretty clean,
Hmm. It
right?
is
You
definitely.
know,
Yeah,
because last year, what was Combo Breaker last year?
it was
100 or something,
128.
right?
Yeah,
And
it's like
Frosty Fausting
the
last
numbers are
year.
still good, but it's like that drop off is pretty enormous. So,
I mean, yeah, but
and even not the numbers, it's just the kind of the vibe. Like last year, the vibe actually was pretty super strong. Like it really felt like a main stage game. Like there's a whole that crowd. There's like a whole crowd of people. Like all the rows were
Hmm.
full. People were like
Hmm.
cheering. I heard my name being cheered. I got off the stage with the trophy, and like three people were like, "Go, yo, good job, dude. Let's go." And I was like, "Wow, this is like it really hammered home the gravity of what I accomplished." And then this year, it
pretty
was very
dead.
side game vibes
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
It,
yeah,
it's what
yeah,
it
pretty
felt
dead.
like. It was not ideal, to be entirely honest. But like that's kind of the feeling I get. Like if they put the game on all in together, it would be effectively the same. It could probably be the same crowd. So it's kind of I don't know really like
I think
we can't do anything about that, right? It's gonna
I think the
happen.
worst thing is that there's a lot of games that overshadow us too. There's just a lot of
Yeah,
games that like you know
this game's in the same niche like DNF Duel, right? That game is essentially in the exact same position. I guess the same
it's
numbers.
like they make top eight during Tekken finals. Like who's coming to see Sam
Yeah.
Show during Tekken finals?
Yeah,
No.
Nobody. No one's coming
No.
to watch the game during Tekken finals, right? Street Fighter Grand Finals. No one's coming to see Sam Show during Street Fighter Grand Finals.
Like.
It's not happening. Did you not see how many people like me and Scrub was in a sea of people playing Sam Show, and everybody was watching fucking Tekken finals.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
it's just, is it fair? Is it unfortunate? Yes, it is. It's super not fair, but it sucks too at the same time because you want to be able to turn around and you want to be able to see a bunch of people sitting in chairs. You don't want to
Yep.
turn around or look on the screen and see fucking there's like 4 rows of empty chairs,
Hmm.
and it's only the normies watching. You know,
Yep.
you don't get no energy. It's like it's grand finals, Maki versus Scrub Saibot, everybody let's go. And like, you ever been to the movie theater and it's a movie that nobody wants to watch?
Yeah.
You go
Like
you,
two
you go
dudes.
there, right?
Yeah.
It's like a
That's it.
couple people there, and like at the end of the movie, there's like a couple people clapping. They're like, "Ah, yeah, the movie was pretty good. Yeah, yeah." That's how it feels
I remember
during grand finals.
the moment when I won last year, and when I like got up the stage and faced the crowd. and I could feel like the energy like washing over me. And this year I got up and I
And
called out
nothing.
that thing. I felt like an asshole. Like I was yelling at like 5 people. Like it was yeah, it was definitely
Yeah.
not the same.
That's why like
Yeah, it was not.
and I was telling Scrub this to you. I was like, next year I think I'm still gonna play Sam Show, but probably not gonna invest any time. Probably like if I go to a tournament and it's there, I'll enter. But I'm
Mhm.
not gonna be playing as much because I want to play Goro and I want to play Project L.
Yeah.
And I want to try to get good at those games. You know,
I mean,
Sam Show is always gonna still be there, but
at the end of the day, it's all vibes, right? It's actually, here's the thing, like, there's so much pomp and circumstance with all this stuff, but like, vibes are kind of the reason we're all playing. Like, we're all just playing the game because we like it. That's really it, right? Because it would
Yep.
be, I told Sugar Bear, I was talking about like, you know, where the game is, and I was just like, it actually would be really easy to quit. If we were gonna quit, we could just do it, and we could do literally anything else. But like, the reason we're here is because we like it, and as long as we like it, I think we could keep going. But it's just like, it's kind of like, I'll just go until I don't like it anymore, and
Yeah. Pretty much.
it's just not that big of a deal if the day comes when we're not getting something out of it. Like there was a time where I was playing Final Fantasy 14 every single day, and it was like absolutely my main shit, and I like put a huge amount of my life into it, and like actually most of my like social life was the game too. Like my closest friends were in the game, and I like cleared every single ultimate raid. There's days I was like raiding 3 hours a day, 7 days a week, because I would like do my own raid group and I would volunteer for my friends. And I was like, the Stormblood, which is like my favorite expansion, I was just like, you know, I could do this till I'm dead. And then they ruined the game, and now I don't like it anymore. So that's, I know now I just don't play it, and it's like maybe Sam will get there one day, but we're not really there yet. And now, judging by the Steam update, it looks like things might be getting a little better actually. So it's like,
Yeah, probably.
yeah,
we'll
but then you have
we'll
to ask
see.
yourself. You have to ask yourself: is it too late? Right? Is it?
It's definitely, we're definitely entering a challenge phase. It's definitely going to be a little harder going into 2025, for sure. It's like, yeah, there's a variety of challenges, a variety of bullshit, to be honest. That
This-
I think it's unfortunate that the game has to deal with certain things, but it's like, if you're about the game, and I know who's about the game, right? If you're about the game, you'll carry the game. And as long as those people are around, they'll deal with it. In my opinion.
But there's, I mean, like there's a lot of things that we should have already had already. Keeping 100 with you, and this goes anything from updates to obviously again there can never be character updates because that team got fired.
Mhm.
But like these types of updates, like stability and stuff like that, these things should have been like natural. Again, I'm not a game designer. I don't really know what goes behind the scenes. But you would think that those types of things is like, you know, like yes, I'm not a game designer, but I do work in IT and everything like that. So when we do stuff, the first thing we have to do is stability stuff. Obviously, we do with servers and stuff like that, and
Yep. Yep.
you
That's
got
right.
you have to make sure that server is stable to hold all that shit, doesn't crash and all the other bullshit in the VMs, right? A lot of this stuff that we're getting now should have been on deck already, right? Should have been like we're releasing a patch. We test, bro. Remember those times where we would have to test the game and then report the Jubei glitch?
Mhm.
The Jubei glitch was nuts.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Heavy into DP.
That was a funny day.
That was huge, right?
Yep.
you know, we got card games that they literally have game testers testing the cards, right? They have
Mm-hmm.
card testers. You know, Magic,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
Magic is a huge one. You know, why can't you have stuff like that for Sam Show? You know, why can't it be like you take two people out of the community? You know, yes, we're Q and A testers are is now.
Mm-hmm.
We're not now. We are now doing, but during certain times, bro, you can just tell there was no Q and A testers. Some of the stuff that was happening in in Sam Show on Steam, you can
Mm-hmm.
tell nobody tested that shit. You can tell they
Yep.
kind of just went dolo and just was like, here you go,
Yeah. Deployed. That's it.
you know. And then,
Yeah.
you know, 8 weeks later, like, hey man, we found this glitch. It's pretty game breaking. Okay, check this out. And then he's like, oh, I'm gonna send it off, type shit. So I think stuff that we're getting now is something that we should have been doing a long time ago.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
And
I felt like at some point the game got just straight out like abandoned by SNK. Like right after season 3, it was like, okay.
so they
So
never it never got abandoned, but the resources became very limited at some point.
It's very
yeah.
obvious. That's kind of how it went.
Yeah.
Like, there's an
Yeah.
exact time period where City of the Wolves. You can clearly tell they like diverted more stuff into City of the Wolves,
City of Wolves, yeah.
and
Mhm.
like it
Mhm.
really hurt Sam Show because they were actually like the beta. Like this update, one of the biggest misfires is how long these updates took. Both the this fix that we got today, this should have came out in like February.
Yep.
And now
Agreed.
it's like actually really hurt the game that it took this
Even
long. Right?
even the Uthio crash, right? The Uthio
Oh
crash.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was huge, man. That was a big thing. You
Yeah.
couldn't play the game if you clicked Uthio.
Yeah.
The game would just crash out. Right? Stuff like that. Stuff like that is
Even stuff
you
like
know,
that. Like look how bad the crashing is on Xbox. Like the game
Oh.
is crashing out if you late catch or deflect on offline setups and online. It's
Yeah.
every lobby session it happens at least once,
Yeah.
and it's
We
like
managed to get one, well, some sort of rhyme or reason why some crashes happen. It turns out that I was playing with Sorrow just to test it, just to test the rollback.
Yeah.
And most of the time, whenever someone of us connected weapon flip technique, and on the last hit, it crashed like every time, and we were like, "What? There must be something about that weapon flip technique." But we tried again, and after the first time we managed to get it consistently, we couldn't get it again. So it was like, okay, so I don't know what's happening. But yeah, it seems like at some times you can some some sort of tell what's happening. Like, okay, it's crashing every time this happens, but the next session you have, that might not be the case. And so I don't know. I don't know what's.
I
And
mean, look
we
at the lobby
tried.
crashing that we had to deal with for so many years. Right?
Oh yeah.
We only got up to a certain amount of hours to play in lobby before it crashed.
Uh-huh. We
Bro,
had to create the lobby every now and then to
it's
avoid crashes. Yes.
can you imagine like a bunch of casuals playing the
No.
game,
No.
right?
Yeah.
And then the lobby crashes and they have to make a new one.
No.
They're not gonna tough it out like the way
Yeah.
we did, right?
I think
They're
that
not gonna.
No.
I think the point of the discussion, it's like it's the biggest obstacle that this game faces is actually SNK, and
Yep.
that's not really something the community can overcome, right?
Yep.
We can't really fix SNK's problems, and it's like people don't want to deal with
And
that, then they don't want to deal with it, right?
I remember Evo last year. I think it was last year. When the was it last year or 2 years ago? I think it was 2 years ago when rollback got announced. Yes. We got an interview with Oda at that point, and there was something that they said. Uh,
They said they
SNK,
were
it's
gonna
called.
support the game more and
Yes,
esports.
something like that. That they wanted Samurai Shodown 2019 to be a game that lasts for many years, and that's why they were implementing rollback, or at least they announced rollback at that point, and that made sense. And my wishful thinking at that point was, okay, so they really are doing this. And the question was, why you didn't do this before? And the answer was pretty obvious: because of the pandemic. The pandemic, we had a lot of plans, but then the pandemic happened, and that's why we couldn't do a lot of stuff that we are really doing it now because of that. And we had to split some resources into some other projects and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. But at the same time, now looking back to that interview, and now and where we are now, yes, for sure, we had some sort of support in, we have rollback now. We have, well, it's being like constantly improved. Maybe not the way we wanted from the start, but okay, now it's decent. And yeah, at least we have that stability,
Yeah, but
whatever.
but it,
But
it's decent now, and
decent, yeah, that's
eh,
the
Yeah,
that's the key word.
but it,
It's
but it's
decent.
but it's
It's
too
it
late,
should
right?
be.
yeah, it is.
It's too late. We
Yeah.
lost we lost all the player bases, and it's
There,
the same folks that's been playing the game since 2019. It's too late.
there was actually like a time in spring of last year where like there was actually a lot of engagement for Sam Show, and there was like a lot of like random posts of like people playing the game at locals, and now all that energy is like gone,
Yep.
and now it's like SNK's incompetence is now the reason that the community has to suffer. It's not fair, and there's nothing. The answers to what we could have done differently is nothing. It's like it's very exhausting and depressing.
Yep.
But on the other hand, there's also like, there's games that people play and they don't even have releases in America. Like you have to hack them. There's games they play from the 90s that have like horrible balance issues that are never going to be ever fixed, and they make those games work. So it's like
Yeah, but
I think we'll
the
figure
thing is,
something out.
the thing is that the game for now is still active, right? But the game, at any given time, SNK can say, "Hey, we're not fucking with this game no more. Done. What you get is what you get." Right? They already did this with the character base. What you get is what you get. You can have 600 complaints against Biken. She's not getting nerfed. That's just
Yep.
what it is. You got to hold that.
5 more
Right?
years.
Right? If your
Why
character's
are
bottom 5, that's it. You got to deal with that. We'll update the systematics, but we're not gonna update the characters. You got to hold that. Right? At any given time, just like Smash, they can say, "Hey, we're not into this game," which I'm pretty sure will happen very soon. Right? Because I'm pretty sure I was told after the rollback and everything, they're done with the game. Once the rollback is good to go, and they see that it's stable, they're done.
I mean, that much is pretty. I mean, the game hasn't gotten a content update since August 2021, right? No updates of any kind. They unleashed Biken into the world, and they were just like,
Yeah, but when you think about it, we should have had this a while ago, right?
yeah.
We're pinching pennies, and we've been supporting the game for years.
The thing I really think is pathetic is how hard it is to get glitches fixed, right? Like we keep talking to
Yeah.
Kaiser, and he's like, okay, he's like, oh, it's really hard, but I'll talk to people internally. Like, I know it's not his fault, but why is it hard? I actually felt like asking him that. Like, I felt like tagging him, like, with all due respect, what about this is difficult to fix? Like, what a one line of code mistake.
So I can actually answer this question actually. So I had a conversation with him about certain things, and sometimes I don't listen to him. What it is sometimes, because he's the guy. He'd be like, "Hey, there's a glitch here."
Yeah, this is happening.
Right? This is happening, and they look at it and they say, how often does it happen? Is it game breaking? You know, is it small or big?
Mm-hmm.
And then he says it's happened one time, and can they replicate it? Yeah, that's why he tells you guys, hey, do a community, go into a thing, and if everybody complains at one time, then they'll look at it. But if it's just one, it's kind of like if one person complains about it, and this happens in my job too, right? You know, in the morning time, somebody will walk into my office and say, hey, I had this problem with VPN, blah, 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 blah. Is anybody else having this issue? Like, no, it's not you. No, it's just you. And at the meeting, I'll bring it up, and then, yeah, it'll be fixed, but there's no urgency to fix it. Because it's just one guy, right? Is it really that bad if it's one guy? Is the team that handles the VPN gonna go into the VPN just to fix it for one guy? How many other people are complaining about this VPN problem? Has anybody else on the team had the same problem? No.
Yeah,
Can you
but like,
replicate this problem? No. Well, then it's not that serious. And,
like
and
I don't know.
that's how they handled him, right?
I know
that's how it is.
I know that's like not that's not him, but it's like it really speaks to how bad it is because it's like I don't know if you follow Baldur's Gate 3. I've been getting really into that game, and that's like that game is they've said that it's not. They straight up said there's not gonna be an expansion. There's not gonna be a sequel, but there's still they put out like 8 content updates, and every update is small quality of life improvements and little glitch fixes, and they can still do that, and they just do it, not because the game needs it, but because they can. And then SNK can't. They're so like they're so cheap and they're so limited that they can't even handle a basic fix like a major character glitch, or they can't even handle massive crashing issues effectively. They can't even handle glitches from years ago, and it really makes me like lose faith in the entire company, and it makes me not really want to play. To like, it actually makes me want to try City of the Wolves less.
But come on, Scrub. Now, we're not gonna act like we're not holding the game on our backs here. You know, it's Japan doesn't even play the game anymore. The game is without a selective few, the game is practically dead. Right? They know that the game is dead, and at this point, they're just investing their time into the game just to be nice. Let's call it that. They're just doing it to be nice. But ultimately, they can drop the game whenever they feel like it, and focus on grow, which is really what's being done.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like
but
they
what
should
they
be
promised
ranked
us
for that.
Steam, they promised us Steam, and they're not gonna go back on their word. That's just not a thing, right? Remember when they originally promised us Steam? It didn't happen right away. I mean, rollback. It didn't happen right away, right? The date passed by, and they had to push it back. And they had to push it back. They had to push it back, right? We didn't. When did this happen in any other game? It didn't happen in no other game but this game, right? There's a lot of inconsistencies. It just it comes to a point where you have to think to yourself, I love the game, but is it worth it? Which I'm pretty sure a lot of people say. Is the game worth it with all the inconsistencies, right? Do I continue to play this game? I'm already just a casual, not as good as most people. Then the connection sucks balls, right? I got to go into a Discord. Some people, it's funny. Some people don't even know how to use Discord, right? I got to go into a Discord. I got to do all these extra steps. I can't just turn my PlayStation on or turn my Xbox on.
There's someone in Edmonton like that. He's like, he's a bit older. He doesn't understand how Discord works, so he just like, he sits on PS4 ranked, and he doesn't ask for games because he doesn't use Discord.
Right. It's people like him, and there's a lot of people like him.
Yep.
A lot of people like him. They don't know how to use Discord. They don't have Discord. So I have my friends, and we have like two guys. They don't even have that Discord downloaded on their their phone. We have a Discord, and he's just like, I just don't want to add it onto my phone. It feels like an extra step. We can all just sit in the PlayStation chat and talk. Like it's a lot. And he's not going to be the guy that's going to take his time to download Discord and be like, hey, you guys want to play Tekken? You guys want to play this? Because he's like, it's just too much, right? Even if he could learn how to work with Discord, he's not going to because he doesn't have the time, right? He's up at 6 a.m. He comes home at like late, right? And he doesn't want to do the extra step, get on his phone, go on Discord, act for games, you know, see if anybody wants to play, and then if nobody responds, which is a lot of the time sometimes because it's either really late or people are just not active at the time because they're busy, you just, what do you do now? You have the craving to play Sam Show. I want to play Sam Show, but I have nobody to play. But I'm also not gonna fucking ping Scrub Cybot and Maki because I'm gonna get destroyed. I don't want to play those guys. I want to play somebody of my equal level, right? Because you can't go into PlayStation, you can't go into Xbox, you can't go into Steam and look for casual matches
Yeah.
and
it's not how
base
it
things
works.
base things off of people's second dan. Oh, this guy only has 200 matches.
Mhm.
I have 200 matches. I think I can play this guy and it'd be an equal settings or something like that. No, you can't do that because it's empty.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna go into ranked match and hope that it's not just one guy grinding ranked every day that's been grinding since 2019 or some shit with a samurai god 300,000 fucking
Mhm.
BP and pray I don't play that guy because I just got the game yesterday, right? Nobody wants to deal with that, and you can't deal with it because there's no it's not like Street Fighter or Tekken where I can boot the game up, go
And
into
get
casuals,
games.
and
Yeah,
get
and get
games
games.
Yeah.
whenever I want,
Yep.
whoever I want. Doesn't matter the skill. It doesn't matter whatever. The average consumer, Scrub and Maki, they don't want the extra step. They want to buy the game. Maybe not even go to their local GameStop store. Maybe they just want to buy it on their PlayStation or Xbox and just jump right into it.
Yep.
They don't want to sit in training mode for 6 hours. They don't want to do any of that stuff. They want to just get into it, get
Get
bodied,
some games. And
get
that's
some
it.
games, and go to fuck to sleep to go back to work the next morning. You can't do that with Sam Show. And because of that, nobody plays it.
Yeah. This has been a depressing podcast.
And that is but it's the reality.
It is.
That's the worst part,
Yeah.
is that it's the reality, right? Yes, we can tell the audience that watch this podcast, go to Discord, you'll get lots of games. You'll get lots of games with everybody and it's people your skill level. But we would be lying to them because they were going to come in and they're either going to play somebody who's too low leveled or too high leveled, right? Yes, we are nice people in the Discord. And yeah, we have fun and we make jokes and we crack jokes and we troll. But we're generally, the Discord is really, really nice people that will help you if you really want to play the game and get into it, which is very few and far and in between. But on paper, who's really jumping in a Sam show and is like, number one, they got to pick their character. They got to pick their character. That's number one when they open up the game. There's a bunch of characters. They got to get the game. DLC alone is still expensive, right? It goes on sale here and there, but let's say they want to be active and they get the Xbox version. There is no sale for Xbox. So
Yeah,
the
that's
DLC,
bad.
they're still paying full price for a dead game. They're still playing full DLC for a dead game. There's still no one's gonna do that shit. They can get the Steam version, right? And then they gotta pay for the DLC. Then they have to come to Discord because without Discord, you're not getting games.
Yeah, I
Dead,
know.
right? You gotta come to Discord. You gotta ping Discord. You gotta ping at Sam Show and hope somebody responds to you, right? You gotta hope somebody will not just cook you and leave, right? Because you'll be damned if you come onto Sam Show, you play somebody, and then you don't have the ego, or you're shy, or you have anxiety issues to say, hey, can you tell me what I did wrong, or can you help me play the game? Currently, there isn't many people in this community that's going to sit down with you for a few hours and teach you the ropes of the game, because you're not going to use the in what is it the in training mode, like the
Oh, no,
game, like
no.
inside the game that teaches you the game, because it sucks. So it's not like in depth like Street Fighter and Tekken is, where it teaches you the in and outs of the game to get you started. Sam Show is not doing that. So now you have to learn from someone else, and it's not going to be consistent because you don't want to bug nobody. So it's not like on a Monday, hey Scrub, can you help me with the game? Tuesday, Scrub, can you help me again? Wednesday, can you help me again? Eventually, you don't know if Scrub is going to be like, hey man, I can't keep helping you
Mm-hmm.
because I'm busy, right? Obviously, Scrub has a life, Maki has a life, everybody has a life, and you have a life, but then you want to learn the game. It, it's just too much for your average consumer, for the person that just got the game yesterday. It's a lot to go through the hoops and stuff. Is it? And then is it worth it? I'm not going to tournaments. I'm not making any money from this. I'm not gonna stream it because who's gonna watch me, right? Do I really want to do this? No, I don't. So a lot of people come in and out,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then moving over to Combo Breaker, right? Combo Breaker just passed by. A lot of people are getting in the game, and then uh, uh, they're like, okay, Combo Breaker was very interesting. I'm gonna get the game now. But then you realize, oh, I can't do this because it's the same guys I just saw in top 8.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to play those guys. It's like a, what is it? It's like a deterioration, or it's uh, what is it like? When like, do I want to do this or do I don't want to do this? Then you think about the cons and pros. Is it worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Not worth it? It's the same guys that are in Combo Breaker and top 8, because you'll be surprised. There's a lot of people that don't play the game that actually do follow the game,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like they know who a Scrub Cybot is, and they know who a Maki is, they know who a Royal Psycho is, right? They know who you are, but they don't play the game. And when
Yeah.
they get that urge to play the game, they gotta play you. It's kind of not it. Kind of, the game doesn't suck, but the ways into the game suck.
Yeah.
That's the worst
Well,
part.
like I said, right, we're definitely gonna enter a bit of a dark period, right? Because future events are gonna be side games. But like, it's like it's like an epilogue, right? Epilogue's still
Mm.
part of the story, right?
Yep.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's not gonna be worth it. And even if we do get to that point, you gotta realize the landscape of how games are. Most games have life cycles, and a lot of games are actually grappling with the same thing, like Multi-Blood type Lumina, and even Dragon Ball Fighters. They're clearly at the point where, you know, they might be on the way out, or they're
Mm-hmm.
not
I
going to
doubt
be on
it.
the marquee. And it's like, but ultimately,
I doubt it.
I
I
feel
doubt it.
like,
Multi Blood maybe will be out on the way out, but not never Dragon Ball ever. Ever. The
well,
numbers for
Dragon
Dragon
Ball's
Ball are
defense,
still
they have a
very high.
world tour, they have
Yeah,
publisher
exactly.
support, but like,
There's still money involved in it, and they have a world tour, and all the top players make oopals amounts of money off the game. There's
wait,
still massive pop bonuses. There's still like tons of like travel for it. There's still multiple updates. There's still a ton of DLC that may be released in the future for it. That was already announced just now. They just did a press conference on it too recently. The game is still very lively. Nowhere near its death cycle.
yeah. I mean, as far as it goes, you know, Even if things have to end, I don't think any of us are naive enough to think that things aren't going to end eventually. Right?
Honestly, the biggest problem I have is that they could have gave us a world tour, right?
Mhm.
Kama Breaker could have been a nice world tour. Evil could have been a nice world tour. Evil Japan could have been a
Yeah,
nice world tour.
I'm gonna be
Boston
I'm gonna be
Crossing,
real. That is something I feel. I feel like
we could have
they could have swung an SWC for Sam Show. Absolutely, there was enough events.
exactly.
Like,
Yep.
We could have gotten something nice, right? They could have given
Yeah.
us it. We support your game here and there, right? Common Breaker 73 people. Last year 120 people. Frosty was pretty good in the hundreds also. Like, why can't we
Mhm.
have it back, right? Why is it COVID kills it and they're like, oh fuck it, fuck that game.
Yep.
We're not giving it no more. It's not fair. It's not fair to the people still playing.
Mhm.
Because the world tour didn't even start. It just kind of started and ended.
yeah, we
Yep.
never got
Yeah.
a makeup tour. It was gonna be on the tour. We never got a compensation world tour.
Mhm.
And people qualified. People flew to events just because it was SWC. Like Lagia came to Los Angeles for Hyperdrive, right?
I think Justin Wong went down to Costa Rica to qualify for that, and
Yeah.
he managed to do that. So yeah.
That
I
was why
mean,
Hyperdrive even existed. They made it just for it to be a West Coast SNK qualifier,
mhm,
and then
mhm.
nothing came of it. And it's
Yep.
like, it's hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes something are just SNK's fault. So it's like, I don't know.
I mean, I get it, right? We have to talk about the good and the bad of the game, right? But we have to also not be Lulu too at the same time. Like, we just can't, right? We can't, and I don't think anyone should do this for their game. I don't think people should pump their game so much that like people start jumping into their game and they're the Lulu of the game, right? Our game is people are wonderful, players are strong, but it has its bad sides. The company sucks, and at the highest level, honestly, I wish SNK watched, stuff like Combo Breaker and stuff,
Mhm.
to see, wow, look at these numbers, look at this. We should try to give them something. I mean,
Mhm.
they're giving you plasters and they're giving you, they gave
Yeah,
us pop bonuses,
it's
which
so
is wonderful.
stupid. Like all like these SNK flags, right? And I'm looking at it, and it's like they made the effort for this, and it's like only something that I can enjoy, and they're not they're not like they could be putting in effort to support the game for other people, right? And they're just not doing. And the game, the demand for it is there too. Like Sam Show gets good engagement and like lots of likes and retweets
But
on
also,
official stuff, but it's like they won't do it.
I think it's also the main guy, the, how the company changed, right? It changed
Mhm.
from hand
Oh
to
yeah,
hand,
yeah.
and
Mhm.
now it's the prince,
Mhm.
right? The prince of name is it Dubai? I think. Or was it? I think I think obviously he's not a gamer. He did a bunch of shares for the company. He owns
Mhm.
he owns it. He calls the shots. He doesn't give a fuck about your SNK game. He just cares about the money that
Numbers
comes
and
from it. Yeah,
money.
exactly, and
Yeah.
money and numbers. He's not getting any money from Sam Show. Zero. Absolute zero. You know, for the character teams to be fired and just sucks. You know, I don't know. I'm sure we all love the game, but I don't know.
Hmm.
Well, but by uh, but going back to Combo Breaker, because I feel
On greater news, Jimmy, combo
yeah,
breaker
yeah, yeah.
news.
I mean, I feel, and this is my opinion, but might be controversial, might not be, but I feel like Combo Breaker is the best major out there, because honestly, right now I feel like Evo is more like a convention type of thing
Oh yeah,
and not a tournament anymore. Uh it's more like,
yeah.
well, I feel like Combo Breaker for me is what Evo used to be back in the day.
hmm
So,
Before we got
and
taken over by Sony.
yes, yes,
Yeah, it's gotten really
Yeah.
bad since the Sony
Yeah.
takeover. It was already like
Yeah.
getting there, but it's like, yeah, it's like
The Sony slash
the vibe's kind
slash
of weird now
what
for
you
sure.
call it.
mhm,
Like,
yeah, it is.
It's overly expensive. I'll say that.
Yeah,
Two hundred
that too.
dollars is pretty
Yeah,
wild.
that too. Yeah, obviously.
I mean, yeah, it's
And
like the venue fee is so high that it's actually
mhm,
gonna make attendance worse. It's actually at that point.
yeah,
They didn't need to pump it like that, and then hotels too, man. Hotels.
There's no
yeah,
on-site hotel.
They partner with Evo. Everything's pumped.
mhm,
There was a hotel that I looked at. It was like $73 a night, but for July 19th to July 22nd, it was like 220 a night. I'm like, fuck
Mm.
you.
yeah,
Okay, like go fucking almost over $1,000, right? Fuck you.
yeah. I mean, Evo is a big deal for Vegas, much that they already have their own day to celebrate Evo. Uh, yeah, it's just natural that things get like expensive
So here's a question
right
for you
around.
guys. What are you guys gonna do if Sam Show's not a combo breaker next year? Are you going? Are you playing different games?
I'll probably still play, but I don't know if I'll fly to events because I don't know if I'm really willing to fly for a side tournament. I think I might get to the point where the only events I go to are Evo, Frosties, and Combo. I've actually already kind of made the decision, like the smaller regionals. I'm not really gonna
Mhm.
bother with anymore because both Lunar Bout and Max Bout, it was a bit of a letdown. Like that was kind of the vibe I got. I was like, I could have really skipped these, and it's
Yeah,
like,
you
especially
didn't really get.
my caliber, right? It's kind of like people kind of should be coming to me. And I know that's like arrogant, but like it's like when it's costs so much money and it's at the point where like because I don't really have infinite. I don't have infinite savings anymore, and it's like,
But Canada, it's funny because Canada doesn't even have a major anymore. Like that.
Oh no.
well,
Yeah.
They have
we
Tour
sort of
Yukon.
do, but they're like they don't compare to the only event that was comparable to the bigger U.S. events was Canada Cup, and that
Canada Cup, right? And that died,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, it died due to bad PR and mismanagement. And like there's other events that are getting like traction. I don't know if you saw the uh, announcement from the UMAD organizers, but like
Yeah.
the core organizers, they said they're actually going to be scaling back. They're not going to be doing big majors because like WeMad and UMAD, they were like exploding. Like the numbers are actually getting close to major level, and I was thinking in my head, I was like, wow, this actually could be Canada's next big shot major is WeMad. But now it looks like that's not going to happen because they can't. The scale is
Mhm.
not. They're not able to match it.
Oh, so yeah, I heard about this. So, my sponsor told me something like this happened. That and it happens very common, where a major is really really good. It's a minor, and major is really good, and a lot of more people come, and it increases every year. The issue is that they they are stuck with minor problems, so they can't increase, right? Because there's regional, there's national,
Mhm.
there's major. I think those are the three,
Yeah.
right? I think regionals are not very big. Is it that regionals are not big, right? Regionals are smaller tournaments, and then there's majors, and then there's nationals, right? So like regional tournaments are not very big, like Lunar Belt or like smaller
hmm
tournaments. They have a threshold that they stop at. Let's
Mhm.
say 1 year is 1,200 people, and that's okay. Then the next year, 2,200 people. They actually have to
Yeah.
pull back down
Yep.
because they can't. they don't have enough setups, and they can't afford so many people.
Yeah.
When you see majors start capping their stuff, and they start putting like a threshold on the max people that can be inside the place,
Yeah.
they can't afford more people. It's not enough.
Yeah.
They don't have that budget. That's
Yep.
actually like I was told that by a sponsor. Like if you ever see people scaling down because they can't afford it,
Exactly. Yeah.
even though this is good, right? It's good that you're exceeding your thing, but when you do a contract with the hotel,
Hmm.
you only get so much space.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
so at that point, it's like, and obviously we have a lot of big tournaments, right? Combo Breaker, Evo, Frosty Faustings, CEO. CEO Taco was big at one point, but I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. Um, it's just awful that it's like that. So it's unfortunate that we mad to do that. 'Cause they probably could have been something big too. You probably could have pushed, right? With you being in home field, you probably could have pushed to have Sam Show there or something like that. That'd have been great. And I don't know how close you are with the organizers or anything, but it would have been a nice actual playing field. I've never been to Canada, so.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be. I'll just see, right? It's definitely gonna be a bit of a different vibe. But I think the kind of the point is that even if it's never, even if it's never a peak again, I think we should be happy with how it went. I think
I
things
don't,
went pretty
it's
good.
funny. I actually don't think Sam Show will ever die, tournament wise. I do think that they won't be main stage games anymore though. There's just too many games I mean, unless you're doing a Frosty Faustings where every game is a main stage game.
Oh yeah.
Which is not many tournaments these days. Frosty Faustings, Elvin Shadow just doesn't give a shit. He's like, oh, your game only has 9 people in it, main stage game. Like it's just what he does. But not many tournaments is doing that, right? So I think
Yeah.
we won't see much of it being a main stage game, but I think Sam Show will still be a thing even after all the extra new stuff. People most likely will enter in multiple games and enter in Sam Show as a pop monster and then kind of move on after they die. So, I mean, I actually hope Sam Show is at Combo Breaker next year because Instinct starts talking about France is going to become in a Combo Breaker if it's there.
Hell yeah,
Not,
that's the thing, right? We're at like the cusp of like establishing Combo Breaker as like a major Sam Show event to the extent that like international people are like showing out, right? And now it might not even make it back. So it's like that's
yeah, it kind of sucks.
really
Yeah,
unfortunate.
there's still a lot of those. I mean, this is another situation. A lot of those guys are not playing the game still. They may start playing it. I'm lying to you actually, because there is a France Discord, and he beats those guys like every day. He beats them like slavery every day. So I could see, I could kind of see why they want to come out, but Instinct says like it's pretty clear cut and dry. Like every local they go to, he wins like everyone. He's basically like the French version of you, lower leveled.
Yeah.
So I mean, hopefully it's there next year. But
Yeah, I think you
Hopefully.
know what? It's like we got the drive and the game's got problems, but like as long as that spark is below 0, it's like a battery. We aren't dead. And
well, I do want to
think
bring up one thing before we all leave. By the way, just go ahead.
I wouldn't say don't be worried because yeah, we're about to enter a weird time period, but it's also like even if literally just us 3 wanted to run lobbies over and over again, at least that's something. So if it doesn't end up, don't assume it's done. But if it is gonna be done, that's just like thanks for all the fish. I think we had a good time, and I'm not super
Yeah.
miffed about that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So
it is.
I wanted to talk about the character variety of Combo Breaker. Right. I wanted to talk about like 3 Ukios, top 16, 2 Jubeis, right? You
Mhm.
know, for what it's worth, 2 Bikins, you know. The character variety, so most fighting games, obviously, when you see top tier, you'll see like 8 Kazukis, you know, 4 Bikins.
Mhm.
It's kind of nutty. Like there was only 2, and there was like the character variety of Sam Show from tournament to tournament is pretty good, right? I mean, we're not seeing Basudas and Cham Chams, but we're seeing the characters we're supposed to see. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like we're seeing the characters that we know are tournament viable. That we were like, oh, okay, this is not a bad pick. Double Earthquake, right?
Mhm.
Scrub, you were saying about how Earthquake is kind of nutty, right? Like he's kind of like shadow good, basically. Like he's a good character, but like he's better than what he portrays himself to be. You were saying like
Mhm. Mhm.
his 5C is like fucking ridiculous, and his WFT is like one of the fastest in the game. Like I think this kind of sets the bar also to like character variety for the game, where
Yep.
like most games don't have that character variety. So I think Combo Breaker and I guess Frosty Fausting is really, really. I don't really know remember the character variety Frosty Fausting by heart. But I don't. There's not many tournaments I see that are duplicates of a character. Right? I mean, if you look at Lunar Bout top 8, you know, it wasn't. We had Healing Vision. You know, who's using a Makusa other than Healing Vision currently? So I think the character variety, and the character bar for Samsho is actually really good. Also, just kind of wanted to point that out. You know, like people are not like even pocketing Viking for you, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's actually like an important observation is like people aren't like even competitively, we're not even at like the level where people are optimizing characters for the sake of winning a major, right? 'Cause you use all people have you use so many like random junk characters, right? Like if you look at the top, like even that one like conversation Maki you were having under your
Mhm.
under the top 8 announcement where you were talking about just now you were considering switching characters, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
If this game was SWC, you'd see biking all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I,
Sure.
I was thinking
Yeah.
about that. I think if this was like a qualifier, I think people you'd be having like top 16, like 9 Vikings on the
Yeah.
moment.
You
For
have
sure.
Seeing it.
5 Vikings, 2 Shizus, and what a Hibiki or something.
BBK. Yes. Yes.
Kazuki's all over the place because it's a qualifier. There's gonna be Japanese people in it,
Yeah,
obviously.
those are definitely the money characters.
Yeah, I think even without that situation, I think that's really good. For the people that watch the game, because
Yeah. Yeah.
when you think about it, right, Sam Show can be a little boring when 2 high level players are playing and nothing happens. Because the viewer wants action. You're
Yeah.
not gonna watch. You're not gonna watch a boxing match and they're gonna be staring at each other, right? It's the same concept. You know, it's
Yeah.
nice
For
to see. It's nice to see like top 8 is like between top tier and like high mid tier.
yeah.
It was nice to kind of see all of that.
I think for the sake of the viewership, you're right.
Yeah,
Uh,
Yeah,
and that's also because if we have like new viewers that are not really familiar for the game, it's always good to see like a good variety of characters. Like, oh, what does this character do? This other one, oh, this plays different. Oh, this one has like a double jump or something. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, interesting. It's not the same thing if they like watch
Right.
and see like 7 Vikings and 1 Hibiki. It's like, okay, I know another Viking, and she's not even from this game. She's from Guilty Gear, and the other character is not even from this game. It's from another game of SNK. So it just get at some point boring. But yeah, having a lot of characters during a top 8, I think it makes things a
But
little bit interesting for the
but it's
viewers.
consistent. It's
Yes,
consistent. It's not
yes,
even like it's happening once in a while. It's consistent. Each top 8 is different characters.
yeah.
It's like it's really good for the game. I think viewership wise and like uh, uh watching. You ever not play a game but you love watching it?
Yeah.
I I'm like the Rainbow Six, right? I like Rainbow Six a lot, but when I play it, I'm just a fodder, right? I'm not good with it. I'm not good at the game. I don't really care for the game anymore.
Just watch it. Yeah.
But I love watching it, right? And to look at like top 8 characters, and it's not all the same character. It's like it's nice to watch. Even with Tekken, right? Tekken, with Street Fighter, you don't see like fucking 20 Akumas and shit like that, right? You see, there's
No.
still a huge variety. My main point is like people are not people are trying to beat Scrub, but they're not pocketing Baiken. You don't see like
Yeah,
8
for sure.
Baikens to try to beat Scrub Saibot. You
Yeah. No.
see you see an Ukyo and a Hibiki, you see a Jubei, you see a Galford,
Hmm.
you see that person's representative character to try to beat Scrub Saibot. You don't see this person and Baiken. And
Hmm.
oh my god, I thought Maki played Jubei. Oh, he's picking Baiken. Oh, I thought this person played this character. Oh, he's picking Baiken.
Viking all over it.
It,
Yeah.
it, it's nice to see that people are still doing what they got to do to try to beat Scrub and keep their character at the highest quality that they can to beat Scrub.
I mean, yeah, you could honestly say we had some great character moments, and people really put themselves on the line about this year and last year, and I think that's what accounts at the end of the day. And
People are not even thinking about picking up Baiken to play against you. People are like, I'm gonna play what I know and do my best. And if I lose, then at least I tried. It's wonderful actually. I don't know. The game's meta when you watch it at tournament level is fucking awesome. I don't know.
yeah,
Honestly, they could make so much money if they just make another one. I'll keep it 100 with you. Just make another one and fucking add the characters from 5 Special into the game. That's it. That was my like last wrap up. If SNK want to kind of keep it alive, they can just make like a Sam Show 7 special and just add some of the characters as a DLC, and they could still make bank. Who doesn't want to play Enja and fucking Gara and all the rest of those characters, right? Like, why not just bank from that? Why does the game have to die? I don't know. That's just my wrap up. So
I mean, we love this game. Well, even if it's like a mummy, it'll never die completely, and I think, you know, everybody will agree with me on that. And it's like,
yeah, I agree.
as long as we got the samurai soul, so to speak, and as long as we have that, I think it's pretty clear that this game is a way of surprising you. And I'm sure moments like eating the steakhouse, the Evo stage last year, the big group photo, everything like that, I don't think you can assume that those things will happen. And here's
Eating
to
like kings for the common folk.
so here's to that and many more. And thank you all for coming with me on this journey. And until next time, until we cross blades once again. So thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for everybody for coming to Combo Breaker, showing out and supporting this game. And thanks to everybody who's holding it down and leading the game into the future. Have a great night. Take it easy.
Thank you, everybody.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody.
Night.
Thank you. Buff biking.